Westside BBC. Westside BBC. I take a look at myself, I likes what I'm seeing. I'm far from conceited, just a fly human being. I dress, talk, and smell as if I want the world. Learn to steal, and that's real once it attracts the girls. My sunshine, spent time, margarita twisted with lime. Half baked in these DC streets, and if you can't stand the heat, ain't got to tell you about the kitchen. Sin City living, how you twigging and itching. Stealing for a living, cause the city, the fragrance is a hell of a stench. The city raised the Grinch, taught him how to steal, land both sides of the fence. Gave him a gun and told the rabbit to have fun, not just counties, boundaries, mountains, time zones, 41 states cripped in, 15 pipped in, and look at me mama, I'm still dipping, rest till I die, nigga try me, fuck a IV, they got 48 hours to find me, burn the whole crime scene, and all they know is he smoke good greens, and live by all means, with the heart of the whole team, you think it's easy to flip, from sugar to shit, smoke up the scene and burn rubber and weed with it, designed for the 3 energy in it, east side, you see the West LV represent, explicit, and if y'all think I came to talk pimp shit, bitch, you got me twisted. It's 3-A-N-G-S-T-A period, and I just look like this. I tell them I just look like this. And Lord knows I ain't never been a punk about shit. I live the G-code where most of y'all niggas just talked it. Kicked in doors and pimped hoes, where the G's at, cause this ain't the Lansing Street. Please believe that. It's fucking with me, you get P shit, G shit, West Side 3 shit on 1P, bitch. My rock and roll, lock and load, and ain't no bluffing. When them niggas talking loud and ain't saying nothing. But I kick the type of shit that can break a bitch. Like a thief, anything I want, I'm taking it. Out of control, rock and skate with it. Left side, and Lord know I ain't no faking it. I took my game from the streets and jumped states with it. Game remain the same, although the name changed cause they face strange. And if I got the gang bang, I burn rubber and weed and lead this bitch right now, man. From blue rags to track with hoes that attract tricks and jack dick, that's how it crack, bitch. Think it's a game, it's a fact, bitch. Fucking with Tone P, I'll get your bitch ass blasted up.
Wanna see my cars on flatbed. Hey, this is a session, selling that crack, yeah. Niggas selling super sour and bionic glue, and got Superman powers when I'm stressed new. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. Yeah. John Dillinger shit. Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. John Dillinger shit. Niggas in the hood wanna see my cars on flatbed. Hey, this is a recession, selling that crack, yeah. Niggas selling super sour and bionic glue, and got Superman powers when I'm stressed new. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my Android. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga.
afternoon, grand evening, grand risings. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Front Line Blacc News. This is part 2, continuation of last night's show. So we didn't get through all the topics. We're doing part 2 right now. I'm your host, Chain Kruma. Hopefully Lady Cherry will be joining us here shortly. And our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori, will also be joining us once he finishes writing up the show that we're going to have later on Blog Talk Radio. Make sure y'all subscribe to Shabaka EXP on Twitter and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook. And on this afternoon's episode of the Frontline Blacc News, we will leave off where we left off last night. So the next topics were Georgia governor declared state of emergency amid Atlanta protests over environmental activists being killed, in regards to the Cop City that is proposed to be built outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Our current mayor, Michael Hancocc, is sends a message to candidates about homelessness problem, and he said he's not endorsing anyone that's in this race, anyone that's running for mayor, anyone that is running for city council. He's not endorsing any other candidates. So we're going to talk about that. The next thing is the last week's general public comment at city council and the Park Hill Golf Course hearing. We'll be going over that. And then also we will be discussing our unhoused neighbors and unhoused neighbor news. So, for those that's not been paying attention, there have been serious protests that have been going on in Atlanta, Georgia for like the past week or so over the death of an environmental activist who was fighting to preserve the forest outside of Atlanta where they want to build a cop city. It's going to be a makeshift city where the police are going to be able to train and use explosives and whatever equipment they have available and practice it. Use it as target practice. So a lot of people are saying that this is actually a concentration camp that they're going to be creating, and there's a lot of backlash against it. So thank you for joining us, Lady Cherry.
Whatever, let's go.
Okay, so Lady Cherry is with us. Say hi to the people, Lady Cherry. So we're going to touch on an article that was in the news break about the Cop City and the protests. Yep.
I'd have more of a voice, but I spent all morning yelling at Jesse, so. Just kidding. What was it? What were you talking about? The Cop City one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really don't feel. I love protests. Really, I like. What do they call them? Actions, protest actions. I really enjoy those, and I really don't think they should stop doing them. The reason is that the police know they killed that man. Everybody knows they killed that man. That's why all this shit is happening. These people, they're in there to protect the forest. A, they're in there to protect the forest. B, nobody wants another motherfucking slave trading, fucking white supremacy training fucking facility. And yes, by all means, protest that shit. I mean, they can't even fix Rikers for fuck's sake, but they can do this, right? You know, that's what this is Atlanta, right?
Yes.
I always talk about it in New York stuff. Does Atlanta really need another fucking race soldier training facility? Probably not. Probably not, because the motherfuckers are still getting killed, obviously. So probably not.
We're being joined by our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori. Let me bring him in. Greetings.
Hey, how you doing?
Rivero said he hopes you're all right.
Thank you, Rivero. I know you care about me, because I'll be all right. I wish my voice would come back, but there's a lot of frustrating things that I just keep getting upset about. So it's like, need to take like 2 weeks off where I don't talk at all, and maybe my voice will come back. It's been kind of just leaving little by little. I'm tired of being upset all the time. Carry on.
Okay, so this article is from CBS. Oh, thank you for joining us, Shabaka.
Thank you for joining us, Shabaka.
Shabaka?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
so before we all fell asleep last night. We have more topics to get to. So this is part 2
Okay.
of last night's episode. So we're starting off with the Georgia protests over the death of the environmental activist.
Okay.
His name begins with a T though. And
Tugaluga.
Yeah, Tugaluga. And so I'm gonna read the article, but I'm gonna play the video.
Yes. And then, as you can see, that we'll be doing a special edition on Hancocc Black Experience Enhanced in 3 hours and 43 minutes. And the name of this episode will be Lies and Bullshit from Memphis. Once again, we have an open mic. Yes, ma'am.
Is there gonna be time for us to do an RVA after the Hancocc Black Experience Enhanced?
Yeah, because we're doing it here. Yeah, what time are you doing RVA?
I'll do it after Hancocc. I'll do it after your show.
Okay, all right, yeah, then we could blend right off into it. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. All right, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it'll be during TBA and Tariq.
Okay, after that, then what time is that?
That would be like 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock our time.
Okay.
So 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That gives me some time to rest.
Okay. Okay, and also too, be advised, folks. Is that they're limiting our post on what we're doing, so we are most definitely being suppressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shadow ban.
Yeah. So
shadow ban.
So I'm gonna play this video of the protest that's going on in Atlanta.
Okay.
Saturday, demonstrators vandalized buildings and lit a police car on fire. The violence followed the killing of an environmental activist during another protest last week, against the building of a police training facility. Now, authorities claim that that activist was shot and killed after shooting and wounding a state trooper yesterday. On CBS's Face the Nation, Atlanta's mayor said that most of those responsible for Saturday's violence were from outside the state.
On the facts, 7 to 13 people have been charged with domestic terrorism. Is this terrorism? Is this crime? What is this? Who's behind it?
Yeah, I won't go as far as whatever that representative said, but what I will say is that it is a crime, and that's why they've been charged with the crime. And these crimes,
domestic terrorism.
And the crimes,
fuck this son of a bitch, house nigga syndrome.
Yes, it is violent when someone.
That's the one that took over after Keisha Lance Bottoms resigned.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, Dinkins.
He's a token black dude.
Uh-huh.
What I was gonna say is, I'm glad they set that motherfucking whip on fire. You see how quick that motherfucker went up?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Down a police car or break out windows or have explosives on them. I don't get into the names. I don't know all the organizations. I'll let y'all decide who did it. I just know they're arrested. And if they come into Atlanta again to wreak havoc, they will be arrested again.
Fuck you, house nigga. That there's the people's taxpayer dollars that pay for those police vehicles right there. And if the people want to tear it up, let them. They paid for it through their tax dollars. So that garbage he's talking is not holding no water.
Interesting. We had a situation here in Metro Atlanta where we have a public safety training center that is in the process of being designed and cleared for some land in DeKalb County, which is right outside the city limits of Atlanta. It is owned by the city of Atlanta. It's the site of a former prison farm that has been around for 100 years. It's probably been abandoned for at least 30 years. Some of the buildings had caved in and the trees had grown up around it, and some protesters, some activists, environmental activists, moved in basically without authority and began setting up, sort of tree stands, if you will, in the trees to keep them from being cleared, and basically started causing some problems with police in the area. From what we understand, at one point there was a fire set in that camp, and when the firefighters responded, the fire truck was vandalized. So there was a problem there. There have been arrests in that area, and it's just become a big problem. So last week, state troopers went in to try to clear some of these camps, and that is when a 26-year-old, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, opened.
Real fast, 2 seconds. That's that white media spinning it the way they want to spin it. Look,
Indeed.
If the forest activists want to go and protect something, and even if it's a building and trees grew in it, whatever, the trees are doing what nature does. So if the activists want to protect what the little nature is doing, and they don't want this fucking nasty ass fucking slave trading fucking or race soldier,
training ground,
race soldier training facility to come up where they're already killing people. So why add to it? Why give them more resources? If they don't want that, and they're doing the right thing, you don't need to go up in the motherfucking forest and set up a fucking treehouse. I mean, that's our right to it should be our right to squat any motherfucking where. Technically, people should have forest squatting rights, right?
Well, a brother that came on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced said, who was out of Atlanta, he said that there was a camp there, a homeless encampment, and they came to encampment to make way for this cop city.
Yeah, but they're not homeless. You know they're not homeless. They're just activists, right? They're just pretending to be homeless. You know that, right?
Either way, there was an encampment there. I don't know if the people are pretending or if they're really homeless.
Like if me and you want to go do what we're gonna do. We're not really homeless, right?
I'm talking about a massive camp. The guy that called into Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced said that there was a massive homeless camp that was present there. And they came in and swept the camp to make way for this tent city or this cop city.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
No, but you guys see what I'm saying on that part is you gotta have a massive camp to stand your ground against fucking a million motherfucking police trying to clear paths so the developers can come and mosey on down the fucking buildings and shit. So yeah, but where they killed this man, he was up in his treehouse.
Yeah.
Taking out, they started taking out the bottom of it. He held his ground for a little bit. Then he ended up coming down for a minute. Like you saw, he thought the coast was clear. He came down, and then they got him. You know what I mean? And yeah, there's people. Of course. Look, you really think these treehouse activists, the ones that were out there fighting like this, crazy like this, you didn't think they were just gonna be some hippies? No, they were prepared. You motherfuckers prepared for war. That's what I respect about them. They're out there just committed, like acting against what taxpayers been paid for. The goddamn police.
Right.
I like that. I like it. I think they should keep doing it.
Okay, let me finish the video.
Yes, sir.
A fire shooting a state trooper. That state trooper was seriously injured and still hospitalized, from what we understand. At that point, state troopers returned fire, killing this person, and that is what sparked the outrage over the weekend. So Saturday, there was a protest here in downtown Atlanta on the streets, on Peachtree Street. And this happens to be right down the street here is the headquarters of the Atlanta Police Foundation. And that particular building, once the protesters kind of moved through, some of them turned into rioters and started throwing rocks and breaking windows. We understand there was some graffiti on the building. Same with the Wells Fargo here, which we understand Wells Fargo has participated in some of the funding for this new public safety training center. So there were some very targeted acts of vandalism here, and we have 6 people now arrested on charges ranging from domestic terrorism to rioting to arson. A police patrol cruiser was set on fire during all of this. And so, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. We have those 6 people now in custody facing some pretty serious charges.
Wow. All right, Rebecca Schramm on the scene for us. Rebecca, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, like I said, okay, if I haven't said it before, this here is most definitely a repeated events of over 55 years ago when Dr. King got killed. And what it is, and you said it right, Brother Paris, they need to disband the damn police departments. You can't trust them.
Right.
You can't trust them. They're not to be trusted. So it's very, very sad that these events, are occurring. But however, I do not support no platform or anything that's talking about let us be inclusive with these other individuals. We got to set our own agenda. And like Malcolm said, it's time to separate.
Right.
Straight out.
Good.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm going to read this article real quick. Hopefully it's quick. Georgia Governor Kemp declared a state of emergency Thursday and activated 1,000 National Guard troops in response to ongoing violent protests in downtown Atlanta following a shooting last week near a controversial future law enforcement training site in which a Georgia state trooper was wounded and a man was killed. The state of emergency is in effect until February 9th, according to the document, unless renewed by the governor. That would be Brian Kemp. The Atlanta Protest Center around the building of the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, nicknamed Cop City. Protesters have been at the site for months, but on January 18th, a protester identified as Manuel Esteban Paz Terran was shot and killed by law enforcement after authorities said he shot and wounded a Georgia state trooper during a planned multi-agency operation to remove protesters from the area. The trooper was hospitalized and survived. On January 21st, 6 people were arrested after protests at Cop City led to property damage and a police vehicle being set ablaze. Some of the arrested protesters were found with explosives. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens said, no one was injured. Kemp specifically referenced burnt car in his declaration of the state of emergency. Mass activists threw rocks, launched fireworks, and burnt a police vehicle in front of the Atlanta Police Foundation office building. The declaration read, in part, Georgians respect peaceful protests, but do not tolerate acts of violence against persons or property. The state of emergency declaration authorizes the Georgia National Guard to be used in response to continued protests. Activated troops will have the same power of arrest and apprehension as do law enforcement.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And then also too, as I learned in 1992 in Los Angeles, when in fact that the National Guard was deployed there during the rebellion, George Bush Sr., who was the president, had sent in the regular military as well too. So be prepared for that one. And then, of course, this Cop City, the research that I've done on it is more like a urban training ground, for military personnel. And then, of course, you got to look at is that, in my opinion, is that rather if it's the Atlanta Police Department, the Denver Police Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, or the Oakland City Police Department, it is a military against the people is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a police state. It's militarized.
Yes.
People are protesting.
Yes.
They want to build this cop city, middle of a forest, and they don't like it, so they are going in with military force to stop them from exercising their rights to peacefully assemble and protest. So yeah, this is
right
into a totalitarian state. This is definitely like, and the United States ain't no better than these so-called third world countries, where
yes, sir, absolutely,
chaos,
absolutely,
and there's no law and order, as they like to say.
Yes, sir, and then as
people.
And then as we, yes, sir. Okay, as we witnessed there in Atlanta, as we witnessed there in Memphis in these current times, as we witnessed in Los Angeles in 1992, and also two reports are coming out of Los Angeles is that the LAPD is still out there in full riot gear. And what happened after the 1992 rebellion, as what it was referred to as, they had put more funding into the Los Angeles Police Department. And then to prove this point is that they tore down Parker Center and they rebuilt it. You see what I'm saying? So all that money that the city of Los Angeles had spent on rebuilding a police station and put more money off into the police department, they could have eliminated all the homelessness in Los Angeles. And keep in mind that Karen Bass has to go through various commissions to get her agendas approved, unlike the majority of metropolitan mayors, who have executive authority. See, the mayor of Los Angeles, man, is just a figurehead, because Uncle Tom Bradley, he didn't do nothing for the Black community. You see what I'm saying? They go service everybody else except their own people. And just like that house nigga who is the current mayor of Atlanta is doing the same thing. You see, so really, a Black politician is more of a detriment to the Black community as opposed to an asset. Is because he'll be more worried about everybody else except his own people. So I define this here as the house nigga syndrome. You see, this is what this is. See, this is the house nigga syndrome. And then the thing is too, is that, the house nigga, man, he was conditioned, man, over a 200-year period. So if they brought slaves 1619, or let's say 1625, 200 years after that, is still 1825. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, you see, so that there's pretty much what you're dealing with. You see, and it's probably going to take a lot longer than that, to kill that syndrome.
Right. Just shout out to our viewers and what we appreciate y'all tuning in. Lady Che, what are your thoughts on the Cop City and the state of emergency being declared in Georgia?
I think they only declared the state of emergency because they don't like how the people activated. The people have every right to activate. And when there's a protest, this is just the way of the people saying they're unhappy. They've been unhappy.
Right.
They don't need to take this shit. They don't want to take this shit, so they protest it. I myself think that personally, I wouldn't want that shit. You know, but I might be one of those biased type of people. I think protests are necessary. You know, just like strikes. I think they're necessary. I think that you have
Right.
to. If you don't do it, they're gonna keep walking all over you. They're gonna keep killing us. They're gonna keep stealing our wages. You know, these things are necessary. So, in my opinion, I think that I think it's a good thing. And they only are doing a state of emergency, really, because they're scared of the people. You know, they're
Well,
scared.
that's basically what it boils down to, is because, the U.S. Constitution said is that the people have a right to assemble and they have a right to petition the government for a redress of grievance. And in these contemporary times now in 2023, the people have a whole lot of grievances, but they systemically suppress it. I mean, look what they do to us. Look what they do to the revolutionary agenda. Look what they do to Front Line Blacc News. Look what they do to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. They suppress us. You see what I mean? Because they don't want our words getting out. But however, they want us to sit up here and endorse an alphabetized agenda, you see. And then keep in mind those who favor that alphabetized agenda, we know where their stronghold is, and it's right there in the cradle of social media as well, too. So connect the dots on that point right there. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then keep in mind, in a lot of African cultures, okay, just like it was proven when Barack Obama had went to Kenya, and he met with President Kenyatta, and President Kenyatta, had stated, well, Mr. Obama, you have lineage here to Kenya, and we're interested in some programs here, to upgrade the quality of life. But you saw what Obama went up there and talked about, and the president of Kenya had asked Mr. Obama to leave Kenya. His next stop was Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and the head of state there had got in touch with Mr. Obama, telling him, hey, man, we heard about your escapade in Nairobi. Don't even bother landing in Ethiopia.
He did the
So,
right.
yeah. The head of state of Ethiopia, in my opinion, did the right thing. But like I said, they have their human rights and they have their civil rights, but they do not have the right to force their agenda on us, and particularly our children, you see, through the public indoctrination centers. And we had one guest, on our platform, stated that she did homeschooling and found it, to be very, very quite successful, because, a classroom does not have to be in the confines of a building. It could be done in a park. It could be done in a home. It could be done at a community center. You see what I'm saying? And then I believe, as some of the celebrities had stated in regard to black males in particular, is that the educational system is grooming black males to go off into the prison system, you see. So, and I believe, there was authors who wrote a book called The New Jim Crow and whatnot, and it's showing how this is being systemically done, and particularly with social media, is because, like I said, this computer I got that you all saw on the stream out earlier, I had to totally get it all reprogrammed yesterday because it's got too much junk on it. And then I'm going to have to pull a lot of stuff up out of it, to reset it, you see. And then, of course, what's his name? Bill Gates. When you use the Microsoft on there, you're going to have to go in there and change your passwords, your access codes, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Sounds fun. I love.
Oh, yeah.
My laptop works.
It's a headache.
Or my desktop. I got a desktop. My desktop worked with my brother because when I came over here, I was like, we had set for a hard reboot on our Wi-Fi box, and then my computer was started. I think my computer got a small little virus, and I used to think
Right.
virus porn, and I always make little jokes like, I'm not watching that on this, like I was making little jokes. I don't know what happened, but I think it got a little virus on it because it's starting to run
Right.
real slow. But I watched this little website that kind of streams bootleg movies. It's a movies, right?
Mhm.
Movies and shows and shit, and it's kind of like kind of like whatever. I don't really care about the law. Anyway, I streamed it so I could watch all the new movies and stuff, and because I have like ADHD, and I think that's where the virus came from, personally, or it's one of those sites because I really try to stick to sites that are familiar to me. And lately, I've been like the last 6 7 months, everything is to do with the campaign, city council stuff, the site, the Justice opening up, the Denver.org site. So I mean, I that the
Hmm.
virus there or YouTube, where I was like
That's
YouTube.
Okay.
So
All
I got
righty. So what I suggest you do is get you a disk, get you a flash drive, download all your material to the disk and or flash drive, if not a combination of both. Make sure you got everything up out of it, your essentials, your personal photographs and all that. Take a ball peen hammer to it, use the Hillary Clinton method, bust it up, you know what I'm saying, and scatter the pieces all over. Do not leave them all in the same area, and you got to shatter them. Or better yet, the best thing to do is to have it incinerated or to throw it off at the bottom of the ocean, is because this is what some of these tech experts had said a couple of years ago, I believe on mainstream television, about it, to protect your personal identity, to maintain, your records and whatever you do. Please do not put no pictures up there of family members on your site, particularly those of little babies. Is because, with all these missing children, I'm thinking that a lot of these perpetrators are using this stuff to do it. But that there's just an opinion, you see. And then when I retired, this computer that you've seen that I'm working on right now has got so much junk on it because they're already saying is, well, your battery is dead, so I can't even charge it up no more, you see. So, like I said, when the time comes, I will be shattering it, busting it up, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be throwing the pieces right out in the Frisco Bay. Yes.
hold on a sec. We got some stuff going on in the chat. We want to just real fast. Um,
Okay, what are they saying?
It says, what is the solution? I'm sorry, Rivera. These are lens free spectacles. What is the solution? If people don't vote and are stuck in church praying for shit to shake. First of all, they got to come out to church because the church is just now nothing but lies and they're not there
church
for
is
business.
nothing but abomination.
No, but yeah, it's just nothing but exploitation. But that's just Team Paris, Brandy Major's opinion, right? They just you gotta what people need to understand is that now when it's time to vote, this is my theory on it. There is no there's no reason if you're over the age of 18 in the years of 2023, there's no reason to be a program dummy. That means you can think on your own. You shouldn't have to
Right.
be forced to you should not have to be forced to go with whatever the Republican, Democrat, fucking same similar talking points. They both pay. You don't want to. You don't want to have to be. You don't have to think like that. You can, at this day and age, make your own opinion. What people want, or what we know people want, is actual tangible solutions. They say that though, Rivero. They say that. That's what I've been noticing is that people say, "I want tangibles," but in reality, they are comfortable in their same white supremacist ways. They're anti-black racist ways.
Right.
It's comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. And that is going to be one of the issues that we're going to be talking about on our special edition of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced today is Governor DeSantis of Florida, taking Black history up out of the school system, you see. And with Florida being a southern state and a slave state, this is no surprise to me whatsoever. And then I'm quite sure states like Louisiana, Texas, California will follow suit, you see, is because in 1849, when gold, 1848, the gold was discovered. California became a state in 1849, which is a kind of a quick process considering at that time you didn't have technology or telephones. You barely had the telegraph at that time. You see what I mean? And California at that time had contributed to 1/6 of the world's gold.
Back to what I was saying though. This is just at this point, people have to come to well, not just people. We're going to talk about Black people, okay? This OTB or non-Black situations, that's for everybody else. Right now, let's talk about Black people. Black people
Right.
understanding that at this point, if you say you have to stand on it, because there's actual people trying to give you that. Okay, like Team Paris, like that's been my beef for like the last month that I've just been keeping it inside. We're trying to give you actual tangibles, but in reality, what we noticed here, Rivero, like we noticed, okay, remember how we said that we don't get no support out here, right? In this city.
Right.
I'm talking. Hold on. You're still in the state, but you're in a different city, right? So in the city, we don't get support, right? In our own neighborhoods,
Right.
running around it since we were little kids. Okay, so they want to act like they don't respect. So we got to make these outward scenes, right? But it's because we care so much. We love our people so goddamn much that we felt like putting them first. It is unfathomable to them. So what did they do to us? They chose up.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came time for the signatures, right? And Jesse, man, I said, woo chop. Jesse was almost out there all by himself, right? Now, if I say I
Mhm.
do signatures, right? It's not because I don't want to. It's because I do 8 other fucking jobs, and I'm busy
Right.
like havoc in the fucking in the streets. Me and Jesse, right? I'm like the
Right.
roughneck of the fucking team, okay? The thug of the team, right? Just wreaking havoc in the streets because Jesse wants to be the mayor, right? Black people deserve
Right.
Black politician that is going to be a realistic fucking term. Okay, not no fucking filthy ass pretend promises, but an actual term. So what we drew up, what me and Mr. Paris drew up for the politics, this is realistic. This is the regular Joe trying to give you, Black people, what you asked for: tangibles, fair representation,
Right.
accessible politician, etc., etc., etc. You want to see the streets? You want to see the people off the streets? Good. You want to see less crime? Great. But it takes motherfuckers from the bottom, like myself and Mr. Paris, to give you that, right? But because there's some
Yeah.
people and afraid, like people, let's just address the elephant in the room, right? Let's just not let the shade deflect the message either. You're afraid. You're afraid of change because you're afraid if you give someone like Mr. Paris a chance. Really, technically, I feel like he shouldn't have had to run for fucking city council. He's been doing city council every fucking Monday
For the past 7 years.
for the past 7 years. He's like
Right.
they might as well give him a fucking chair and a computer and have him sit there at the desk. He shouldn't even have to do it. He's been doing it. Okay?
Yeah, he's definitely a man of the people, and plus that of what he does every Sunday. And I've seen that man go out there in all elements, like he was out in the snow this morning. He does it in the heat. He does it in the rain, and where those other Denver mayoral candidates every Sunday when Mr. Paris is doing this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then And then also too, I want to say this here to Jeff Fart. Mr. Fart, we are still waiting for you to call in at 516-418-5996. Now, Mr. Fart, I'm going to keep giving you invitations. And the reason why I'm going to keep giving you invitations, not so much because I want to see your ugly, stinking ass, but I'm putting you out there on the spot to show you the hypocrite of which you are, Mr. Fart. Yeah, I just had to get that out.
What I'm gonna say real quick though, in regards to that, you brought that up. Look, I don't like to watch the Jeff Fart show. That is, and let's talk about Jeff Fart real quick. Did he respond back to my preaching?
No.
Okay, day 3. Now we got to send the message. I don't give a fuck about it. Okay. On the Jeff Fart show, he says people reach in when they want to come in and talk to the free think zone. Okay, that's what he says. Well, so Brandon. Okay, so if anybody's watching the Jeff Fart show, then you would know that he has a regular person on there that comes on named Hashim Coates. Hashim Coates represents Kelly Bruch, okay, that old white witch, right? So he represents her in there, and he just highlights and just brags on this whole like he got a brush and he's combing her hair, okay, just like that, right? And so I took the leadership role of being motherfucking go ahead. I'm sorry. I took the leadership of being Mr. Damn campaign manager, because somebody has to do it, right? And I was already doing the work, so I took the title, right? So in my 8 jobs, campaign manager, I'm like doing 8 different positions. Look it up; it's on the Democratic thing. Okay, I wrote in and I wrote him a message. I texted him. This is a real fact. Pull it up, right? I texted him 3 motherfucking days ago. Black people, 3 goddamn days ago. And I said, there's Jesse's text messaging, they're back and forth, whatever. I said, hello, Jeff, parentheses, seduction doll, right? Seduction doll. I was like, I'm reaching in because I would like to talk about these new policies that for Mr. Paris. Why? Because I'm sick of watching motherfuckers come in there and gas like the free think zone.
Right.
Paris doesn't like shit. Team Paris is a raw motherfucking individual. Okay? Yeah, I made signs, right? They're so basic, you would think, right? But they're stand out. Just don't know. if he would put this sign up amongst everybody else's bullshit, everybody been looking at this sign versus everybody else's. Okay? But that's okay.
Right.
I wanted to go on there so I could talk about all this new policy that Jesse said I was writing policy this whole time. I had no idea. I'm just a gang member. So all this policy, right? That that for the housing, we actually have real solutions. So when they say, well, what's the problem? We know the problem, but we don't have no solutions. Team Paris has had fucking solutions since day one. And that's why people steal our shit all the time. So I wanted to come in there and talk like Hashim. Say minus the cuss word. I talk politely. So minus all that, I want to go in there and talk to him. Talk to the free think zone. Because it was his show and his free think zone that drugged Mr. Paris for 7 months. Just go ahead and do the campaign manager shit and speak on what we've been working on, since it's only 2 fucking people. There is nobody else.
Right.
It is just him and I. Now that we're now that we've been gaslit and we've been fucked off to where we have to be a write-in, and that motherfucker put a whole title, a whole sentence about who didn't make the ballot. We already know who didn't make the ballot, but he had to drag him anyway, right? So I said, fine, go in there. I'm not gonna start no shit. I mean, I might want to. I can't. Who knows how the hour will go, half hour, but he didn't respond. Now, when you fuck with me, silence means no. I grew up in a house where no meant no, silence meant no. That meant you were ignoring me on my question, and that meant you didn't want to fuck with me. So cool. Stick your motherfucking show up your ass. I could give 2 fucks. I got 3 fucking broadcast platforms. I can do whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. So Team Paris shows up whenever the fuck we want to. That is what it is. Now, him the message, because after Jesse's run, After Jesse's run and this election is over, Brandy Majors is going to run, just for shits and giggles, Brandy Majors is going to run in Aurora for city council. That's me, right? I got over 30 years in Aurora. I can run in Aurora. I live in the hood of Aurora, so I definitely know what the fucking problems are. You know what I mean? And I want to just run for city council, just to see what happens. That they probably won't.
Okay, I have to take a break for about 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Give me about 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so then check this out. So what I'm saying is that me running for city council is just for shits and giggles for my own amusement. Why they gonna let no fucking felon run anything? How they let it happen here in Denver, I don't know. But I wanted to show Jesse something. Plus, I believe that our work that Jesse is indoctrinating me into is really fucking important. It's really important. So yes, Brandy Majors will still run on a black first platform. Brandy Majors still will run for city council. Brandy Majors still will give these motherfuckers that work. Because right now, I don't like how these, and we're going to explore that here shortly. I don't like how these candidates come up there and they gaslight all of us. Mm-hmm. When I'm always saying, you little pretty little talking points, you pretty little ducks out there pandering yourselves like you old prostitutes and shit. I mean that. Because we're not doing that. We don't want to do that. We didn't want to do any of that. We shouldn't have to beg nobody for nothing, especially when you're in your 30s and you know how the fucking shit goes. You should know what resonates true, but just because you want to, you don't have the experience. I don't know. It's always something, right?
You don't have the money.
You don't have the money. You didn't raise no money. I can't take him seriously. He's not a viable candidate. That's because you're stupid. He is a viable candidate. And that's why it's been causing nothing but fear and reckless havoc in the city that nobody wants to talk about, except for Mary Hancocc. Mary Hancocc always wants to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to touch on that next.
We're going to touch on that right now. This next little portion is going to be about is Brandy Majors, part 2 of Team Paris, giving y'all the light work and the business about what's really going on in the city. In Aurora, I would be considered the lady of the city because I know everything about what's going on. You just don't see me. I maneuver differently. Jesse is maneuvering differently in the city of Denver, but nobody wants to talk about it because he didn't raise this or he didn't get that. But truth be told is, if you be listening to other candidates, they submitted it. They admitted it. Hello, Wesley. Bless his brother. Yeah, so we know what's going on. And you should feel a lot of fear. And not only that, but you should be very uncomfortable when it comes to Team Paris. Team Paris is designed to make you feel uncomfortable. You shouldn't feel right about it at all, actually. Why? Because that's what change is. Change is supposed to be soft and polite. Mm-mm. Yes, in this town, and we are seeing it firsthand. Yes, absolutely right. And what? Absolutely right. Freak things as long as you agree with them. Exactly. We can't agree with them because he plays mind games, Rivero. Like I'm not that one. I'm like a give me the facts and I'm gonna ride with you type. Okay, I'm like that. I'll ride with you if you give me the facts. Just tell me straight. Don't fucking play mental mind games with me. I'm not fucking. We don't want to be manipulated. You know what I mean? Okay. We don't want to be manipulated. We want to be told the truth. People say they want the truth, but in reality, they want to be placated. Mm-hmm. Black people, at this point in time, you are allowing this motherfucking atrocity to happen. You are allowing.
Yeah, you're right.
Brain and eat away. It's like a cockroach in there spreading fucking lies of mischief in your motherfucking brain, and you're gonna ride with it, and you're gonna vote for the wrong motherfucker. And 4 years from now, or 1 year from now, you're gonna be, he didn't do the right thing. Or she said, and she didn't have nothing to do with it. She didn't have no fucking work planned out. All she was riding on was her fucking atrocious looks and fucking pretty words. Yes.
Yes, Leslie. We're talking to you.
Leslie is a fucking unattractive ass bride.
Okay.
I can't just say that. Look, let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because that bitch saw us. All right, first of all, we come back to this Park Hill Golf Course thing, real quick. The Park Hill Golf Course City Council that she was so avidly talking about last week, right? She wasn't fucking there.
None of them were there.
She
the
left.
only two that were there was me and Ian.
She left.
Wow.
The presentation from Mr. fucking Harris III.
Norman. Yeah.
Norman. She left before his presentation. She left like an hour before his presentation. Okay. I know. I was there. I asked some belligerent fucking question. Everybody had to turn around and look at me and give me props after that because I'm concerned about black people. As I'm listening to Harris III's fucking vision, I'm looking at the golf course, watching white people walk dogs, and tears coming out my eyes because we weren't allowed to go. Okay,
right.
So I'm watching this shit. That bitch was not there. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck what she said. She ain't got the balls to say it to me. Mm-hmm. She trays up.
Yep.
Right. So then a city council, right? We're there.
Mm-hmm.
We're advocating for the new growth of this shit, right? And keep in mind, what is a golf course? Nobody wants to talk about that part, right? But let's just carry on. We were there. That bitch was nowhere to be found in the city council. There was 95 people speaking. She was not one of the 95. So while she's sitting up there talking all this fucking high point shit, she wasn't there. Mm-hmm. She wasn't there.
No.
Ian's there. Ian's always around. We don't even got no beef with Ian. We know Ian does the work.
Right.
Ian was there. Okay, he might have left right before the fucking the presentation, but I seen him getting the presentations talking beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew exactly what was going on. Right. He knows exactly what's going on with the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
He's present.
Right.
That's why we don't give him a hard time. He's present. He's always present.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not him, it's Brian Loma that's present.
Yep.
And Brian Loma don't got a problem communicating.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. This bitch though, and her hot boy fucking gaslighting, that's ridiculous. And I've been saying it all the time. I don't got a problem saying to that person's face, right. Leslie, you a fraudulent motherfucker. Mm-hmm. How the fuck you gonna have $55,000 worth of financial motherfucking debt and you get a slap on the wrist and only have to pay $50? Who does that? Right. Regular motherfuckers would have been in prison by now.
Yep.
But not her, right? Where's this old bedwenching gay shit? The fuck is this going on?
She stacked up fines for campaign financing.
For years.
For years.
And she got, just pay $50, bitch. No, go to jail.
She's been in office to jail since like 2016.
How the fuck is she was on the ballot in the midterms? We voted to keep that bitch in her seat because we didn't want her to play musical chairs or be without an income. We were looking out for the black woman. But the black woman don't give a fuck about the black man. Do we not know that? Let's keep that very real.
She's only black when it's convenient.
So like black when it's convenient, gay when it's convenient, right? Because she's up on everybody. Oh man, don't give me with this racist shit. She's on every motherfucking white man and white woman's tip, and we know it. Mm-hmm. Everybody fucking knows it. Over here at Team Paris got a problem with talking to white people.
That's
as it
how
is.
She was able to get her 250 donations in
one day. She printed out her own petitions.
And why is she applying for the Fair Elections Fund? I thought this was supposed to be a fair election fund.
How the fuck you not independently wealthy after being in office for 10 fucking years in the House? And why you submitting to a lower level when you're at the state level?
Right.
Why do you come down to the local?
To keep you at the state level, and you still want to be the mayor.
Who's gonna represent us in the state level? You old raggedy ass bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She got some big money donors. Yep.
Yep. She does, and she was hot. She was gaslighting us. She wasn't gaslighting us. She was bragging to us on the Jeff show. I got the most donors, the most dedicated Colorado donors. Bitch, suck on everybody's dick. I don't give a fuck. Right. Stupid. Well, who's going to represent black people in the state now?
None of them.
Oh, we don't think about that, right? Maybe we don't need any state representation. We just need local representation. No, we don't. Keep your motherfucking bitch ass up there. That's why you were on the midterm ballot. How dare you get to be on the midterm ballot and file for fucking trying to be the mayor at the local level? You're at the state level. I don't know. I'm kind of dumb. I never had a job before. I've been a gang member most of my motherfucking life. So I thought that you want to rise up in work position, climb the pyramid up. I didn't think you want to go up and then come back down like, oh, okie doke. The fuck's wrong with you?
Right. Like you should have been.
Am I missing something?
Why didn't you try to pull a Stacey Abrams and run for governor against Polis? Why didn't you do that?
Yeah, why don't you go up higher? Why don't you go up against Polis, man? Since he's a governor. Why pretend to be the mayor? What are we missing here, Black family? Why are all these state people coming down to the local level? Is there a conspiracy we're not up to?
Chris Hansen,
we're not
Alex
on?
Valdez. Who else? This is Mike Johnston.
Yeah.
It's like 4 or 5 of them mugs that's at the state house that want to be the mayor now.
Why though? What are we missing, people? Please tap in and tell us, because obviously, I'm like I said, I've just been a gang member, started drugs my motherfucking life. I don't understand. I've only been a regular citizen doing civil duty for like 2 years, if that. Okay, that's not even a complete 2 years. We're almost there. We're almost there, Black family. But Jesus Christ, help me understand. Help me understand. Yeah, that's right. Help me understand, because at this point in time, I don't get it. I thought you wanted to move up in position. I mean, if there was a higher level, well, there's a higher level in my case. You're balling status. I want to be a baller. I want to go higher up. I don't want to stay low level fucking just selling nicks and dimes. I would want to go higher up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Why in the fuck would I go back down?
Right.
What are we missing? If you know the answer, please let Team Paris know, because I'm baffled. I'm like, this old and cuz when are you gonna fucking replace that sew-in?
Right. Why am I the only one on stage that's black with hair?
Why is Jesse the only one? And he got a lot of hair. I put my little hand through it and it just gets stuck in there. I just love it. But why is he the only one with it? I would see let your fro grow. You know what I mean? That's what they're laughing. Right? Why is he the only one with fucking hair? And you see how Jesse just maneuvered motherfuckers during that debate? Here, hold my phone. Thank you. Hold my phone. You know what I mean? Plus, I can't. And that's the only place that there were no police.
Mm-hmm.
Every other place where they know Jesse's coming, there's police at.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Every other fucking thing. I don't ever see them.
No,
you don't.
Don't ever see them.
Nope, you don't, and you won't. But you're gonna definitely hear about this shit over here. I don't care if it's
the
bad.
only time you see them is when they want your vote.
They want your vote, and they're like, please, and she's like, I created Star. Bitch, I was sitting in the cut while they're on the board meeting of the creation of Star. Mm-hmm. Jesse's on the board, right? Everybody's on the board, and they're trying to talk about it.
Team,
right?
Assistant, response, assistant response,
right? And I'm in the cutting up in the back, in the same room, in the back, or walking around eating fucking what was he eating at that time? Pizza pockets, or pizza hot pockets, the little pockets. What's the cup? Pizza rolls, right? I'm in there cutting up, making jokes and shit in the back, listening to these motherfuckers create Star. So she wasn't all alone. She acted like she did this shit by herself and nobody else helped her.
Yeah,
she's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the cut. Yep. I know. I don't have to lie. What the fuck I gotta lie about? It don't behoove me.
Right.
I'm not gaining shit from it.
Right.
Only way a lie works for me is if I gotta gain something out of it. And there's nothing, you can't buy me. You can't coerce me. Mm-hmm. You can't manipulate my brain. I think alone. Mm-hmm. This is an example of a free thinker. I'll create my own opinion. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've been watching this broad for a while. This broad is just fucking ridiculous. Just not just her. Lisa saying, I'm so proud to be on the stage with all these women of color. What women of color? It's just you and fucking Leslie. What women of color?
Debbie.
Debbie don't count.
And also they got that gay agenda to help them. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about that, because God forbid. And look, let's just keep it 100. I birthed as a real woman. I birthed 2 homosexual children. Okay. And they've been homosexual since they came out. Okay. So I know that's a real situation. Some things are not, though. Some things are just perpetrated. But I know that I am the least homophobic. Actually, I grew up in a very black and white thinking family with a lesbian for a villain. So I know what I'm about to say. I don't care what anybody thinks. I know. This shit right here is a forced agenda.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, nobody forced you to accept whether they were gay or not. In the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of gay people going around in my family alone, okay? My mama, my uncles, you know what I mean? So, and none of them said, you must love me and accept me because I'm gay. And none of them were playing dress up on the weekends. They were happy to be men and they were happy to be women. They were just gay and lesbian. Simple as that, okay? They weren't trying to, well, you didn't have my Uncle Gene, who rest in peace. You didn't have my Uncle Gene over there wearing a dress and shit, talking about his name is some fucking Geneva or some shit, okay? He was just Gene, right? And he did his thing and he wasn't in the closet, but he wasn't forcing his agendas or his what do you call it, proclivities down anybody's throat. He wasn't like, and you must accept it, or else you're hurting my feelings. Fuck you and your goddamn feelings. What about our feelings? Right? We're supposed to be cautious and protective of your fragilities. What about black people's fragilities?
Right.
Right? Don't we have a right to be fragile at a point? Don't we got a right to be vulnerable? But we got to worry about everybody else's fragilities. White fragility, the LGBTQ plus fragility, your pronouns. That is some weird ass shit I refuse to learn.
Right.
Okay, it don't make no goddamn sense to me. Either be this, and this. Now we got, go ahead and hit it with air quotes. Jesse, I can't do air quotes. Misgendering. Whole fucking article with Leslie talking about misgendering. Right? What the fuck is misgendering? You came in this world one of two genders. Right? A man or a woman, boy or girl. Just because you want to flip the script and pretend to be something else, that's not misgendering.
Right.
That's just you pretending.
Mm-hmm. That's deception.
That's pretending. When you're a gay man in drag and you're tricking straight men to go creep with you and they find out and they wild out, that is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You did that.
Mm-hmm.
You caused that to happen to yourself. You want to say, hey, look, I'm carrying a big ass swiller underneath this little mini skirt. Just need you to know. No, you are on this whole actress thing, whole actor type shit. And you got the audacity to be mad and be like, whatever. No, every straight man, straight woman has a right to be upset. Mm-hmm. Straight women or real women have a right to hear you when you start acting like the queen fucking Aretha Franklin song is your shit. No.
Or you're against it. You're
against it. Mm-hmm. You're against the fucking man. Thank God.
Against natural woman.
You're not a natural woman. I'm a natural woman. Sorry to say. Sorry to say, it's from Mel. Yeah. I'm not actually apologizing for it. Stop pretending. Shit, it's gonna be all right. You just have to fucking accept it. Right. Well, we're not gonna just jump on your bandwagon. We're not gonna the speakers in the bag somewhere. Or the cart. Speakers in the cart. We're not gonna accept it. We don't have to accept it. Exactly. We don't have to accept it. We're not going to accept it. And people need to stop accepting it because you're just feeding into their agenda and you're just putting more money into this $1 trillion fucking industry. Right? When you could be putting money into like your community, for example. You could be buying black. You don't have to support some fucking weird ass shit. Do you know there's a fucking dude out there? He's literally a dude rocking this trans shit, right? And he was ripping off people. He was in a wheelchair like mine, acting all tight and shit, doing fucking promoting people's stuff, and he's all trans and shit, and had the audacity to be mad because people were upset that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, calling them all kind of bitches and shit. That's wrong. But you young voters want to give money to that. See what I'm saying? There's no reason to be this way anymore. So we're going to move on to our next topic as soon as Jesse gets here. We're gonna have another guest, and it's the Anchorman. And I really want to shout out the Anchorman real quick. Just had to go get the speaker. Shout out the Anchorman, Ramel Understanding. I don't know if you guys seen the beginning of the show, but there's 2 clips on it. So the music is provided by Ramel Understanding. I created the clips, so it's a team effort. Team Paris. Ramel Understanding is our political prisoner. Locked up in the Colorado State Mental Hospital in the Springs.
No, in Pueblo.
In Pueblo. Yeah, it's like close there though. So he does some of our music and we promote that. And we used to give Tangibles, which is his book. I used to give a book out when he helped us.
Bluetooth connected.
And I still do that once in a while. I'm not
Here
sure.
he is.
And now, welcome Ramel Understanding.
What's going on, people? Shout out to all the front line.
We're on
The true front line, official front line.
We're on the Front Line Blacc News. Hey, real quick, Ramel, tell them about Terrence. Tell the people about Terrence Roberts.
He's faking in a motherfucking Monopoly dollar.
Tell them about the Frontline campaign thing.
Frontline campaign, he stole that because he used to go in the studio over there at KGNU with me and Sharif Ali. And he took the name from hearing me say that I was the president of the Frontline campaign at that time.
Yeah.
I got it on tape, man.
And what else? So this is not the first time he's stealing intellectual property. Because everybody likes to call me.
He's a gem thief.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes out of Team Paris is created by for the most part, part 2 of Team Paris. Okay, part 2. Jesse will run an idea.
Shouts out.
Yeah, Jesse will run a thought by me, and I'll just elaborate, and it'll grow into some fucking magical Denver mayhem. Okay, because Team Paris, they're the creative geniuses of Team Paris or the Frontline campaign is Brandy and Ramel. Brandy and Ramel got creative juices going all day long. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. We will expand on it and create something magical within an hour. Okay? Hell yeah. Jesse just got to hit us with
Jeffrey Farr too, man.
Yeah, tell him about Jeff Farr, cuz.
Jeff Farad, I'm going to take you through the history. He used to be a great asset to the community, but through time, he just turned into a rotten, dirty motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? Now he's on some shit where he's catering to people that ain't got no business being even in the neighborhood like that, or having access to the neighborhood like that.
Yeah. That's why we I was telling Jesse, Jesse helped me. I reached in. So everybody who watches that show, you always hear him say, in order to get on the free think zone, I reached in. Show him, baby. I reached in. Right? I reached in. I made a thing. This is day 3. You don't reach back. I give you this is like if we're breaking up, right? And Jesse don't show up or talk to me for 3 motherfucking days. I'm gonna act like we broke up. See? That's me writing him, telling him I want to reach in. See how it's written? I'll read it to you real quick. It says, real fast, I'll be quick. Brother Jeff, in parentheses, from Seduction Doll. I'm reaching in to schedule an interview on your broadcast. I would like to present some new policies that we're working on. Granted that Mr. Paris is a writing still deserves to have his ideas presented. Thank you. Peace. Right? I reached in. So now we're on day 3 and he ignored me. Fuck him and his show.
Fuck him.
That's how I feel.
He's a dude.
You can't even tell me nothing anymore because he's been out filming Randall's. He's been out doing shit. So surely he's seen the debates. Surely he's seen that and he's just ignoring Brandy, which is not unusual. Anybody who doesn't know knows that when he says people could come to the free think zone, I'll give him a courtesy text.
Mr. Magic. Yeah, the former Mr. Magic. Yeah.
I'll give him a courtesy text and he'll say, no, she can't come.
Mm-hmm.
We got other candidates there.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because Brandy's known for saying reckless shit. Like when I said, dust yourself off, Tay. Did you get buck broken?
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. He'll censor me. You know what I mean? I always say some wild ass shit.
Yeah, he'll censor you or block you if you say something he don't like.
Yeah, and he did. He blocked Shabaka. He won't do it if Jesse brings me. Jesse's like the only way into the cultural center sometimes for me. Because if not, I'll pull up and he'll have Gerald handle me at the door.
What, Gerald Muhammad?
No, Gerald Bolden.
Yeah, okay, Gerald handle. Oh, we're busy today. Seduction doll. Why don't you come back? We're doing another show in a week or so. I'll have him handle me. So that's how that'll work. It's like somebody left us a sweatshirt or something like that. Remember t-shirts? Mm-hmm. And I had to pick them up at the door. I couldn't even go in the building. Yeah, that's how it go down.
He blocked me too. Yeah.
See? You see what I'm talking about? So it's not like I'm
fuck him, man. You don't need a motherfucker like that.
That's right. So let's get into it. I'm glad you called, Ramel. Let's get into Jesse Paris and the highlights of what's going on with Team Paris. Thanks. I had to get that off my chest, family. Get that off my chest.
So, our current mayor, Michael Hancocc.
Oh, remember when we did that? I said he was talking to us when he gave the State of the Union address, and he was like, "We're not gonna let no candidate divide us by race." And it was us. Mm-hmm. He's referring to us. He smiles a little bit in this, and he's reflecting on Jesse Paris.
Mm-hmm. He's faking in a motherfucker too. Fuck him.
Fuck him too.
I met him in a strip joint.
Yeah, I know. He's a big old trick. Here we go.
Dangerous Temps Aurora is activating its cold weather outreach team to be proactive and bring people inside.
Nichols building downtown will serve as a warming center through Wednesday. Next week, Arapahoe County and other Denver area communities will try to get a count of each homeless person in that area. They call it the point-in-time count. The latest figures show a 55% increase in 2 years in the city of Aurora alone. And cities are spending a lot of taxpayer dollars to house the homeless.
Our Sean Boyd sat down with Denver Mayor Hancocc to talk about a problem that, Sean, really has overshadowed almost everything else the past few years.
Yeah, sure has. Sean, the mayor is just 4 months up in his term, and he had a message for those who want to replace him. More like a question. Where have you been? 17 people are running, and until now, Hancocc says most of them had no interest in homelessness and don't understand the complexities. It's not just people who've lost their jobs or can't afford rent, he says. The opioid and fentanyl crisis, combined with a mental health crisis, has caused the homeless population to explode. For years, the city has subscribed to a housing first model where there's no strings attached to shelter. But for the first time, Hancocc is talking about a different approach.
When I hear people say, well, I'm going to do this and homelessness, reality is that this is one of the most complex public policy issues because you're dealing with the human person.
There is no issue Denver Mayor Michael Hancocc has struggled with more over the last 12 years than homelessness. When he took office, the city spent $8 million a year on the issue. Today, it's spending $250 million a year. And yet there are more, not fewer people living on the street. Hancocc says it's about far more than housing.
When you approach people with housing first, which I think is a laudable, very important step for people who are ready to be housed, you can't do that with people who are dealing with an acute mental health challenge and who are very sick with substance misuse disorder.
So what do?
So you got to have a suite and a variety of services that meet people where they are.
But some, he says, will never get treatment voluntarily.
We are bounded by laws that say you can't make somebody take treatment. But I think, right? Well, I don't necessarily think so. Not someone who cannot rationally make a decision for themselves. And as you're talking to someone who's had addiction in his family, who has grabbed his loved one's hand and said, "You're going, let's go."
He has lawyers looking into involuntary commitment in some cases and is calling on the legislature to pass a new law. The state, he says, has not done enough.
Well, I'll tell you, Sean, it wasn't that long ago. I'm talking about within the last year or two where you had people in the state saying that's a local problem. And we, as mayors and council members, county officials, were saying, you've got to lean in on this. This is our state issue.
For having women toward mental health services last year.
So how does it matriculate to more beds, more treatment facilities? There's nothing more tragic than to say we want to help people on our streets and then have nowhere to refer them.
Hancocc also took aim at those running to replace him.
I'm watching the candidates now for city council, mayor. I'm not endorsing anyone, but I can count on one hand, probably one or two of the candidates have ever, during their course before they ran for mayor, said, "What can I do to help?" And I think that is a question as a voter I got to ask: where were you as these crises were mounting? And if you cared so much, did you need a title? Did you need an invitation?
Mayor Hancocc. When Mayor Hancocc sees Jesse, he daps him up.
That's my question. Where the hell were you candidates?
Word.
I've been there since day one. Where the hell have y'all been?
Since day one of the camping ban. Right?
Yeah, since he took office.
Yep.
So where the hell were y'all at?
And when Jesse said we're the only ones that, and he's the only one that's been, as one of the candidates, pretty much, what did you say? I would say oppressed.
Mm-hmm. A victim of his bad policy.
Of bad policy. He means it. I mean, he watched me go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Getty on it from fucking Denver News, Denver Post. Look it up. They said they crushed my 2 fucking power chairs. The police did. Police swept me millions of times, right? And I got arrested. I don't know how many times for this shit. So I don't want to hear it. I know for a fact he's definitely talking about Jesse because Jesse be the one of the two, meaning Ian, right?
And maybe Lisa.
Maybe Lisa, but definitely Ian and Jesse. So, he's definitely talking about those two. And goddamn right, Ian's been there. Ian's been there for real. Jesse's definitely been there. Jesse and Jerry Burton when Jerry Burton wasn't a flake. You know what I mean?
Jerry Burton was responsible for the tiny home villages and the safe outdoor camps that the city fought us for years. This bastard right here fought us for years to get that shit off the ground.
And he still hasn't acknowledged that.
He came in 2016, had the SWAT come in and raid the tiny home village at Resurrection Village, which was on 27th and Arapahoe, right across the street from Jerryville. He had the SWAT team come in and raid the camp, steal all the tiny homes, never gave none of the equipment back. Still to this day, House Keys Action Network, which it is now, Denver Homeless Out Loud, hasn't got any of the materials back.
And I lived in Jerryville. Jerryville was self-governed, self-policed, and they didn't like that shit. The police were always there.
So
always.
He goes on to talk about how his life was threatened and all this bullshit. I'm going to read the article. Y'all going to get a kick out of it.
Ask, how can I make a difference here?
It's easier, he says, for people to criticize, and worse.
My life has been threatened. My safety has been threatened physically. These activists have come at me. They've showed up at my home. And I think after 12 years, almost 12 years in this office, and looking at this issue, studying it, trying different things that we have, creative approaches, I've yet to find the most perfect model. Because we're trying to help people. We're not trying to take rights from people. We're trying to help people.
Photo ops.
Hancocc pushed back on those who oppose the city's camping ban, saying many encampments have enough propane to level a city block. While the sweeps get all the attention, the mayor has implemented dozens of programs and initiatives. He has a cabinet dedicated to homelessness, created a Department of Housing Stability, launched a first-of-its-kind affordable housing fund, helped pass bonds, secure grants, create tiny home villages and safe outdoor spaces, and
tiny home village. No, motherfucker. No, and hell no.
Everybody always wants to take credit for other people's work, man. This fucking retarded. And this is what I would say about that. If he did all of this, then he needs to enforce those people who he put in charge of all this shit, so they can actually get the people to go inside. But he did do that. Then people failed him, and they took the money and ran.
Yeah, with his failed plan to end homelessness, the Denver Road Home, which he ran into the ground, and then he morphed it into something else before Host, and now it's Host, House and Opportunity, Stability, House of Stability. Ain't nothing stable about the housing. The housing that me and Brandy is in right now is not stable. We could be put out on the streets any freaking day now as a result.
Shit, my apartment still don't got heat, and it's the landlord's job to make sure the heat. They have no heat. It's like what, 2 years now?
Yeah.
Jesse's apartment got heat. That's why I'm over here.
city or financially supports
I can't go outside right now.
different shelters.
They're only
Many
having
of them 24/7.
right?
We still see so many people out on the streets. You just went through.
It's almost below zero right
It's
now.
almost below zero right now, and we're at 1:30 in the afternoon. It is fucking
Wow.
cold. You can go outside, my heart would stop. And he's right. My heart
I
would
was
stop.
outside for like 30 minutes, and I had a very hard time breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know definitely he had a hard time. But he's a healthy, well-built man that I'm gonna have a hard time. That's for sure. Eat that last piece, baby.
So this article goes on to say there is no issue Denver Mayor Hancocc has struggled with more than over the last 12 years in homelessness. Now, with just 4 months left in office, he is talking candidly about the problem. When I hear people say, I'm going through this and end homelessness, the reality, that was a shot at Kelly Bruff. That was a major shot at Kelly Bruff because she talking about she want to end homelessness.
She can't.
The reality is this is one of the most complex public policy issues because you're dealing with the human condition. That's what I said in the Denver Gazette. I said you can't address homelessness until you address the societal ills that cause homelessness in the first place. When he took office,
Exactly.
the city spent $8 million a year on homelessness. Today, it is spending $250 million a year, and yet there are more, not fewer, people living on the street. Hancocc says it is not just people who've lost their jobs or can't afford rent. He says the opioid and fentanyl crisis combined with the mental health crisis has caused the homeless population to explode. No, what's caused the homeless population to explode, Hancocc, is you've created a city that nobody can afford to live in.
Exactly.
When you take away jobs and
Same thing like Los Angeles.
Homelessness.
So these people literally cause problems and act like they got the solution to them.
Yeah.
For years, or he says it will take more than additional affordable housing to solve the problem. For years, the city has subscribed to House the First model, where there's no strings attached to shelter.
There's all these barriers.
There's all kinds of strings attached to the shelter. Yeah. But we'll get into that later on the RBA. For the first time, Hancocc is talking about a different approach. When you approach people with House of First, which I think is a laughable, very important step. What is it? Longible? What is that? Longible?
Where?
Longible, very important step for people.
No, he meant to say laughable or laudable. That's not even a word, baby. So just go.
Who are ready to be housed.
Or logical. Maybe
no, it's not logical. You can't do that with people who are dealing with acute mental health challenge or are sick with substance abuse disorder. You have got to have a variety of services that meet people where they are. Your services don't meet people where they are.
No, it's just a flyer to another flyer to another flyer.
That's what we've been trying to do here. It's working. He claims that over 50 people that he housed over 1,000 people.
Oh, brother, let me if you count us. For sure.
And I've housed 8 people with no political experience, no title.
Right. That's another point. I mean, and I want to say that if look, Jesse had an advocate, and that same advocate helped me get over here too. I don't dig that lady, but I do want to give her the flowers for that, the props on that, because I had a mate that caused me to lose all my shit for one point. So, and that was a long time ago. And I also want to say that COVID helped get housing for people too. It wasn't necessarily that bad of a situation, but with him doing it on his own, come on now, he could give 2 fucks about the people.
Right. We are bounded by laws that say that you can't make somebody take treatment. Yeah, damn Skippy. We also have to take a look at our laws and say, how can we compel people to get treatment, Hancocc said. So he want to do that Eric Adams shit.
Right. That shit ain't gonna fly.
He says some people can't rational decisions, even when their lives are in danger. Oh, so the homeless are just helping. You're talking to someone who has had addiction in their family. Yes, we know your family's a bunch of drug addicts, Hancocc, who loved one's hands and said, "You're going, let's go," Hancocc expressed.
Quincy.
He has
Okay, good.
He has lawyers looking into involuntarily commitment. That's what Eric Adams is doing in New York right now, y'all. In some cases, and calling on the legislature to pass a law allowing police and outreach workers to force some into treatment. No, that is fascism.
Right.
He says that's not done enough. So there's an encampment. There's our people right there. This stupid ass set team right there, freaking harassing and disturbing our unhoused neighbors. You see somebody there with an Occupy hoodie on, and I think that's Carol. That's Carol. Yeah, I know those people. That's watching the police.
Yeah,
and we know all these people that's in this picture.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that look, man, the homeless or the unhoused, whatever you want to call it, they have a right to be comfortable, just like you do in your apartment. And if these people throw out their trash, their shit, what they consider trash would be a couch, a bed, clothes, shoes, whatever, and the homeless decide to refurbish themselves with it because that's just the way life is. Yeah, you have the audacity to sweep up your own trash and then blame them for it.
And then lie and say that you can pick it up.
You know what I mean? And lie and say that you can, that's your problem. You created.
So he says not that long ago. I'm talking about within the last year or two, you had people at the state saying that that's a local problem. And we as mayors and council members and county officials are saying, you got to lean in. This is our state issue, Hancocc said. Okay, so you're punting this to the state, Hancocc, just like you pointed the ban on tobacco to the state.
Right.
When
it came to Newports, though, you was all about it.
The legislature.
Oh, wait a minute. So they banned the Newports in Colorado as well too, because California did that as well.
No, they're working on it. They're working on it. See, they tried to do it at the local level, and Hancocc vetoed it. That was one of his vetoes that he did. He did the veto on the pit bulls, and he did the veto on that.
In Denver?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's why I'm laughing.
Oh, who is that, Ramel?
Yeah. Yeah, the Anchorman's with
us.
us.
Hey, what's up, Ramel? Hey, what's going on with you? Hey, we're doing a special show today, General Ramel, at 3 p.m. in the Pacific time zone, 4 p.m. in the Mountain time zone. And yesterday, man, I posted the wrong time up there on the show we did last night. So that's my bad on that one, man. Just exhausted, you know what I mean? So I have to take that one on the chin. But we did have a good show after all, you know, on the long run, because we was talking about the situation that happened with Mr. Nichols, and we're going to be talking more about it. And then I got it up on the wall, the course description, and I'll give you a call before we go on the air, General Ramel, because we're going to be going on the air here because it's 12:38 p.m. in my time zone, so we got about 2.5 hours before we go on the air for that one.
Yeah, let us finish our shit first.
Yeah.
That's right to make it, General.
Oh, yeah.
Black News will be on Blog Talk Radio for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. The legislature allocated $400 million last year for mental health services, but Hancocc says it's not enough. How does that matriculate to more beds, more treatment facilities? There is nothing more tragic than to say we want to help people on our streets and then have nowhere to refer them to. Well, Hancocc, you're helping people that aren't even citizens, and it's goddamn
right.
By the freaking busload, and you housing and sheltering them, but then you talking about you can't shelter and house the people that's already been here.
And I'm going to put it this way.
Oh, yes, sir. The hypocrisy is real.
The busing money that they said in 9 News talked about, it was only like 11,000 or some shit just to bust them out of the state. It's a goddamn lie. It's a fucking lie.
Right.
Everything they want to give us as far as numbers wise, you should just know it's a lie and add on another 20,000 to it. Yeah, because it's a lie.
Exactly. And then keep in mind that the governor of Texas, well, what's his name? Abbott Bud or Bud Abbott, he was putting immigrants on the buses, sending them up there to Washington, D.C., sending them there to Denver, Colorado. He was sending them everywhere except for the state of Texas. That's what he was doing. So I'm quite sure he's going to be sending a whole busload of them to Los Angeles as well, too.
Yeah, to all these so-called sanctuary cities. Where the hell is our sanctuary at?
Yeah.
But the article
Yes, sir.
to say he took aim at those running to replace him. 17 people have qualified for the ballot, and until now, Hancocc says most of them had no interest in homelessness. I agree with him there. None of them, only me and fucking Lisa maybe had interest in homelessness issues in the city. I'm
Okay,
now for city council and mayor, and I'm not endorsing anyone, but I can count on one hand one or two candidates ever during their course before they ran for mayor said, "What can I do to help?" That is a question as a voter I've got to ask. Where were you as these crises were mounting? And if you cared so much, did you need a title? Did you need an invitation to ask? How can I make a difference here? He said. It's easier for people to, he says, it's easier, he says, for people to criticize and worse. My life has been threatened, blah, blah, blah. My safety has been threatened physically. These activists come at me. I was one of those activists. They showed up at my house, one of those activists. I think after almost 12 years in office, looking at this issue, studying it, trying creative approaches, I have yet to find the most perfect model. We're trying to help people. We're not trying to take rights from people. Bullshit, Hancocc. If you wasn't trying to take rights from people, then you wouldn't have passed the urban camping ban, which makes it illegal for you to survive on the streets of Denver. You'll be arrested, ticketed, you should cover yourself with a tent, a tarp, a sleeping bag. Anything besides your own clothing is deemed illegal. And then when Denver Homicide Loud and other organizations that I was a part of came up with Initiative 300, the right to survive, you raised an initiative against it called We Can Do Better, spent $2.5 million with Together Denver, lying to Denver voters saying that we can do better. So we haven't forgotten, Hancocc.
Right. And then and what it is too is just like with Stacey Abrams, just like with Karen Bass, just like you had with Uncle Tom Bradley, who used to be the mayor of Los Angeles, is that there's something that's got to be done about this house nigger syndrome. Excuse my language. See, so we need some psychologists, and I know the word is psychologist, to come up here and to directly affect that syndrome, to direct that syndrome. I mean, man, because it's going all across the nation, and we love our people, but on a collective basis, with these black ass sellout politicians, Obama included, we are not in our right mind on a collective basis.
Okay.
I mean, the traumatization of the slave trip is real.
Shabak, I still got a little bit more to read. He pushed back those who opposed the city's camping ban. I bet he did, saying many encampments have enough propane to level a city block. While the sweeps get all the attention, the mayor has implemented dozens of programs and initiatives. They get all the attention. The last sweep I went to, there was nobody there. There's definitely nobody there running for political office was there.
No, we took them motherfuckers do this shit to us just to set me. I feel like sometimes everything is intentional and it's definitely against Team Paris. Man, they'll tell us we'll finally get an email, and it'll be a fucking roundabout way where me and Jesse got to walk down there 30 motherfucking blocks to get to. By that time, it's over. You know what I mean? And if you were watching,
wow, that's 3 miles.
If you pay attention to Jesse and his live little feeds when we're on the sweep, I was driving against traffic in the street. We're trying to find out where the shit was. We're looking, and we can't get to it. You know what I mean? And okay.
So he goes on to say he has a cabinet dedicated to homelessness, created a Department of Housing Stability, launched the first of its kind affordable housing fund, helped pass bonds, secure grants, create tiny home villages. No, you didn't, Hancocc. And safe outdoor spaces. No, you didn't, Hancocc. You want to take credit for it, but you didn't design or create any of that. The people did. And the city now owns and leases and financially 15 different shelters. Hancocc says the efforts are paying off. He says 76% of those who are homeless in Denver are in a shelter or transitional housing. And he says the city has found permanent housing for almost 2,000 people since he took office. Bullshit. Stop the cap. Next week, Arapahoe County and other Denver area communities will try to get a count of each homeless person in our area. It's called the point in time count. And we've touched on this numerous times on the show and the revolutionary agenda, that this point in time count is a flawed count to begin with.
It's like the census.
The latest figures show a 55 increase in just 2 years in the city of Aurora alone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good.
Oh, he said the video was too loud.
Oh, the audio is too loud.
Oh, he said he couldn't understand what he said.
Oh.
Okay, so what are y'all thoughts on this?
All right, well, Ramel, what's your thoughts? Because Ramel's our guest on YouTube.
Twinsies, it looks like he's occupied.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, I just think that Hancocc is on some bullshit. The city's on some bullshit. They don't give a fuck about the homeless people, man. That feeds their crime rate. That's what I think. I think that feeds the crime rate. So as long as they got homeless people, desperate, poor, with nowhere to go, nowhere to, take care of themselves, no way to survive, they're going to rely and have to commit crimes in order to survive.
Right. Yeah, that is a survival instinct.
People homeless. Because we already know that the prison system, the jail system, and the police system, and judicial system is all a monopoly.
Yep.
Yeah.
For them,
and it is.
And that's what they do, So my thing is, them people, like I always say, the game don't change, only the players.
Yep, that's what Pops always says.
So, yeah, so it's like, no matter, if we don't get Paris in there, whoever else is gonna come, they're gonna be on the same bullshit.
Yep.
And
even Hancocc is calling it out.
Let's move forward because we gotta get to Shabaka shit anyway. But let's move forward and try to finish our show real quick. Let's go to you show city council before you show the article.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll open it up real quick. This is the same night of the Park Hill Golf Course City Council, and we're just gonna highlight the general comment first, with me and Jesse talking, and then read the article.
Or do you want to hear everybody speak?
No.
Because it starts off with a whole bunch of homeless advocates.
Okay, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. It's too long.
No, it's only 30 minutes.
Jesse.
Let's see.
All right, whatever.
20 minutes.
Can't tell Jesse anything to do.
Only 20 minutes. So this is the Denver City Council meeting last Monday. General public comment.
Fuck you too, Torres.
That's the council president.
I'm like ready to throw tomatoes at everybody. I'm like, ooh. Tomato. I'm like, boo. Oh, you can't take me nowhere. That's why this is gonna take me nowhere. I'm like, boo. That's right, get it.
Kathy Reynolds Chamber.
Oh my God. That's
Good afternoon. This evening's session is being interpreted into Spanish. Hello, everyone. We're starting. Hi, everyone. We're starting.
I don't want to hear it talk.
Sam, would you please introduce yourself and let our viewers know how to enable translation on their devices?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. I will now give the instructions on how to access interpreting. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
You're on the wall. You'll see your time counting down. For those participating virtually, when called upon, please wait until our meeting host promotes you to speaker. When you're promoted, please accept this promotion, turn on your camera if you have one, and your microphone. All speakers should begin your remarks by telling council your name, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please refrain from profane or obscene speech. Direct your comments to council as a whole, and refrain from individual or personal attacks, including disparaging other speakers' minutes. We will start in chambers with V. Reed.
So V's with House Keys Action Network, which is the new D-Ho, Denver Homicide Loud.
Look at Flynn.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Bee, and today I'm here on behalf of House Keys Action Network Denver, speaking about the fact that we have hundreds of people in the streets who are experiencing freezing sweeps on the regular. This is something that there's active work to be done about it, but I do want to just share with you today some words from somebody who was in the streets himself and talking about the impact of no freezing sweeps on him. When he was being told that he had to move when it was freezing, he was woken up at around 6 a.m. A lot of times these sweeps happen as early as 4 a.m. so as not to show attention or garner the attention of people in the community who care and who show up and support people who are going through this. He experienced being told by police officers that he needed to get out and move within a certain amount of time. He has experienced during freezing sweeps having his property taken when he was at St. Francis Center, a day shelter, collecting mail, or when he was going to use the bathroom because he was not allowed to use the bathroom in public. He said a lot of the items that they take, the very first thing they take is a tent. Deshaun talked about how when they took his tent, he was left without anything to keep him warm that night. He also talked about how that day he had received donations of coats, of a hat, of gloves from people in the community who cared, and those very items were taken along with his tent as well and trashed so that he couldn't use them. He said, having people who care in the community enough to donate items so that I can save money and continue to work to come up is something that's incredibly important. I have the exact words here too that were just brought up with me. He says, what happens when you go through a no freezing sweep or through a freezing sweep, you end up with nothing. You already had nothing, so you end up with less than anything, especially the tent, because that's the first that they throw away. It was so bad, they took my ID, my credentials that were in the tent, and they just throw away everything, so now you have to reapply for all that again, on top of looking for somewhere to sleep. You're going to drag all your stuff across the street, and you have traffic coming, and they're honking horns and blowing at you, and the police are trying to get you to move in a timely fashion. They're rushing you. You only got so much time, and it's cold, it's snowing. Not only are they waking you up out of your sleep, telling you to move, but you have to move everything like a buggy or a wagon and dollies, things with wheels that don't move easily in the snow. I just really want to share this with you today because this is the experience of so many, and I hope that you can see protection to offer people in the freezing cold winters here in Colorado so that they don't have to go through these wars again and again in this displacement in these temperatures. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is up in chambers with Keith Barrows.
Keith Barrows, and I'm one of these homeless people
shelters are kicking us out for different reasons for months at a time. We ain't got nowhere to go, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to get no food, no clothes, or nothing. Something should be done about that. They shouldn't be allowed to kick us out for months at a time when we don't have nowhere to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker signed up in chambers is James Martin.
Straight to the point.
Is James online? No. Okay. Our next speaker signed up in person is Paul Blake Oswig. Paul online?
A lot of people didn't show up because they
had
to leave. They couldn't leave their
signed up in
tents.
chambers, Francis Longhorn. No, Francis online. Our next speaker in chambers is Nasir Helter. Nasir online? No. Our next speaker in chambers is Diane Thiel. Hi, I'm Diane Thiel. Met many of you. Have we put our brains in the cupboard? Why are we letting various government offices outlaw gas appliances and gas cars only to replace them with electric alternatives that are much less reliable? Why are we putting even greater loads on our electric grid by requiring electric appliances and cars instead of reliable gas appliances and gas cars that don't need the grid? The electric grid has proven to be fragile, old and infirm, and subject to all kinds of outages. Sabotage of substations is the latest vulnerability. Lightning is more frequent today and can take out substations and transformers on poles in your neighborhood. Power poles and lines are consumed by fires or taken out by falling trees, heavy wet snows, or the new 100-mile-per-hour windstorms. Hurricanes and tornadoes can take out power in large areas. Depending on the catastrophe, it can take hours, days, weeks, or months to restore electric power. Instead, the gas lines are buried 18 inches underground. They are more protected in weather emergencies. When I was a kid, we always counted on our gas stove to be able to keep us warm if the power went out during the winter. And you could cook on the gas stove too. Gas stoves are a real survival asset, as are gas furnaces and gas water heaters. If you have an electric stove or furnace, they just sit stone cold after the power goes out. Low-income seniors will be at risk of freezing in the dark. The number of electric cars is growing and they need to be recharged. But the electric grid cannot handle the loads generated if each household charges even one electric car every day. Even early in the electric vehicle rollout, some communities only allow residents to charge their cars in the late evening or at night because the grid can't handle the extra load during the day. Remember, businesses and governments are also buying electric vehicles. Finally, 60% of the electricity in Exxon's rural service area is provided by natural gas and coal. We aren't really addressing climate change. Let's get our brains out of the cupboard and start thinking again. Don't let government officials prevent or take away gas appliance survival assets. And please understand that the electric grid cannot handle the load consequences of climate change. Our next person signed up in chambers is Susan Spear.
Get to the Zoom already, lady.
No. Our next speaker signed up virtually, Brandy Majors.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna carry on like a. I hope you can see me or hear me. Turn this off. It's acting crazy. I want to talk about the sweeps. Last week there was a sweep, and it swept my sister. She lost everything. She just went to go take a shower at St. Francis. She lost all her stuff. And the problem was that she had permission to be to go ahead and live right there where she was in front of a parking lot. the owner, I had heard from his own lips several times that as long as she kept the area clean, she could remain there. She had kept the area clean, she was staying there, and all of a sudden she was part of the sweep. She lost everything. And then called the county about it. There's nowhere to get resources. Look, it's all fun and good for everybody out there when they think that, oh, these people, they just don't want to be housed. They just don't want to get the help that's needed. You're not offering any help but a flyer to another place that offers a flyer to another place. You're not offering any kind of resources like sleeping bags or clothing, or if you do, you make you beg for it. And that's not right. All that needs to end. All this begging, making the unhoused beg for what is absolutely needed as a human being, but you're so quick to gather these resources for an influx of immigrants while they kick out our regular native people that have been unhoused for years out of shelters just to move them in. That's ridiculous. That is very ridiculous. Shame on the city for that. Another thing I want to address real quick while I have the chance is it's nice that all of you alleged forerunner candidates want to talk about unhoused issues. You're not qualified. Stop talking about it. Stop talking like you're going to do something about it. First of all, you got to repeal the urban camping ban. So since none of you are really going to do that, some of you were opposed to that way back when, let's not forget. Don't think you're going to start changing things now and make that one of your top priorities. None of you have the experience of being unhoused during the camping ban or before the camping ban. Only one candidate does have the experience before the camping ban and during, and that's Mr. Jesse Paris. And I know for a fact I have experience of being unhoused before and during the camping ban. None of you other candidates can even speak on it. So while it's nice and big and bright to say pretty talking points, none of you have the experience. So sit it down. You're not qualified to address homelessness if you haven't done it before. In the terms that you've had for the city, you're not going to do it now. Thank you. Have a great day.
Right on, Lady.
Let me give her that work. Give that work. I'm so proud of myself.
Yes, good evening, members of council, those watching at home.
That's right.
Well spoken.
Self-defense, positive action coming for social change, as well as the Unity Party of Colorado, the East Denver Residents Council, Front Line Blacc News, and yet and still, I will still be the next mayor of Denver in 2023. And I reside at the Fusion Studios in Christopher Heritage District. I wanted to talk about the sweeps. I agree with everything that the previous speakers have said about the sweeps, but I guess this is what we can do better looks like. Right, Denver? 4 years ago, you told us that Initiative 300 wasn't the answer and that we could do better. Well, it's been 4 years, Denver, and we're not doing better, we're doing worse. But yet, at the same time, we can go out of our way to house and clothe and shelter migrants, illegal immigrants that are fleeing from Mexico or Venezuela or wherever south of the border. We can open up our doors to that, but we cannot house, we cannot clothe, we cannot shelter, feed the people that have been here for generations. That is shameful, Denver, but this is what we can do better looks like. As the previous speaker, Randy Majors, has spoken, I'm the only candidate that is qualified to even talk about homelessness, being unhoused. I coined the phrase unhoused neighbors because I was an unhoused neighbor. And if it wasn't for the help of an advocate by the name of Marianne, I would still be an unhoused neighbor. So I'm the only candidate in this race that has been unhoused under the camping ban. So I'm the only one that is qualified to even speak on this subject. And yet and still, y'all still want to blackball me, make it hard for me to even get on the ballot. I'm still in the hearing processes to see if I'm even on the ballot yet. But even if I'm not, I'll run as a write-in. Because I am that well respected in the streets of Denver, I could possibly win as a write-in. Because I'm the only one that has experience with any of the stuff that y'all are talking about. All these little pretty talking points that y'all have, I'm the only one that has experience with any of that because I've been a victim of bad policy from this city for the past 10, 12 years at least. So With that being said, we can do better, we will do better with a new administration, a Paris administration. Paris for Denver mayor, make sure you write me in because they're going to go out of their way to make sure I don't get on the ballot. So make sure you write me in because I'm the only one that's been unhoused under the Kemp ban, has solutions to the problem, not just doing lip service, but has actually housed people before I even became a political officer. So with that being said, sweep the council like they sweep the unhoused every night. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Front Line campaign.
Yeah, the Black Imperial Army has arrived.
Damn.
We're giving them that work. He's giving them that work. You gotta admit, like, when you see me and Jesse over here highlighting our own shit, I'm like, I'm smiling like a motherfucker because I know I gave them that business. I know I did. And every time I get on there, they're like, oh fuck. I can just imagine seeing their face when I'm doing their little speeches and shit. That they're like, fuck. We do gotta let Brandy and Jesse speak.
Millie's in the house.
Jay Millie. He's like, we gotta let them tell us what's cracking. You know, like, or we gotta I was just let's see. Okay. Yeah, no, we over there giving them that work. We give them that work. They don't like it. I don't give a fuck.
The Black Imperial Army has
arrived. And we're not stepping off their fucking neck. You're gonna feel it. You better eat your Wheaties, dust your shoulders off. It's coming.
Either step off or get stepped on.
Right.
Period.
And say, shit, if Ramel was out, he would go just as hard as me. It'd be even worse than what I'm giving it to you. It'd be worse. Hey, Ramel, speaking of that, I used 2 of your songs for the opening credits of our Front Line Blacc News.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2 Crips. I made 2 clips.
Which one?
I think we used 15 and 3. I don't know.
Of the vault?
The vote, yeah, 2 on 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'll run it back for you a little later or after.
Hell yeah!
I made 2 clips. And, hey, whoever watched the beginning of the show, what did you think about the clips? that was a
Blizzard the G.O.D. right there.
A frontline campaign collaboration between myself and Ramel Understanding. For Jesse Paris.
All day, every day.
Yeah, that's
all day. The 4 Horsemen.
Yeah. So they're
Chewbacca in there with us too.
Yeah, Chewbacca part of the crew. So you got the clips though. The clips were a collaboration between this genius right here and that genius on the blue speaker for this guy right here. You know what I mean? So it was awesome. I made the clip. Ramel provided the music, and Jesse repped it.
Oh man!
Yep.
Oh, you know what would be dope if we put Jesse on some beats.
Yeah.
Talking. You know how he does.
Yeah, we got to do that in my house because I'm the one with the virtual DJ.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so we got to do that in my house, and he actually got to get to. I was making a beat the other night. Then I got frustrated and I had to turn it off. Yeah, I was making a beat the other night.
That's nice.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do without my Ramelzy? I gotta carry the torch. Still in there.
Man. One more year.
One more year. The Twinsy comes out, then it's beautiful.
Yeah, finally.
And beautiful twin to twin musical collaborations. Because we are the same.
We're gonna be 2-stepping all the way in the mayor's house.
Yeah, we're gonna 2-stepping and crip walking and motherfucking Cable Land.
Yeah. I just want to know, can I do the chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side?
Yes. You can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. Whatever you like. God damn, this shirt is like, forgive me, family. I didn't realize my okay.
Terrence is on some bullshit. Jeffrey Farad is co-signing his bullshit. They need to step off before they get stepped on.
Oh yeah, they're stepping off. Hey, you didn't tell my dress is shit like, and this dress is damn near, you know, man, Jesus Christ. Modesty is everything. What was I gonna say? Our next topic is we're going to lead into the Park Hill Golf Course thing, which is also on City Council.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna fast forward
too
that.
much testimony. We're just
Too
gonna
much.
fast forward to
We're
what
just
we
gonna
say.
fast forward to what we say because me and Jesse gave him that business too.
That meeting didn't end, Ramel, till 1 in the morning.
1 in the motherfucking morning. There was 95 people speaking.
What time it started?
5:30.
5:30.
And
What the fuck?
Leslie wasn't there.
Nope.
Like she tried to say.
Mm-hmm.
She was perpetrating. She wasn't even at the fucking the presentation.
No, she was there. Oh, she
No,
left.
she left.
Before
Was Jeffrey Fried over
Yeah, you know.
No, he wasn't at City Council either. While you over there talking all that hot boy shit,
Yeah.
he wasn't at the presentation either.
Mm-mm.
there?
Don't let us get to telling the motherfucking truth. He wasn't
I
there.
just want to know if he's endorsing the transgenders that tough, man. Is he going to become one too?
He needs it.
No, he pretends on the show, but in reality, he's still who he is. They still dap and hug us up. But hey, I ain't digging that shit. You either be 100 all the way or not. You know what I mean? And since he ain't returned my call since I reached in, now you don't get the fascinating Brandy gonna run for city council in Aurora speech.
Right.
You're hearing it live right now on Front Line Blacc News, where our actual broadcast. We don't need your fucking promotion, Mr. Farm. You fucking
We
every day
hot.
for us.
We hot.
Yeah, we don't need you. We've been hot on our own. Came out the coochie this way. What the fuck you talking about? Shit. Came out that motherfucker hot like a light fire. My own mama don't know what to do with me. I need your promotion. Who the fuck is you? Sit it down. We'll take it all the white people money and shit. Man. I got
You can't even walk the hood, Farad.
Nope. You only walk your little sidewalk sections.
Yeah.
You stay
That
in your
motherfucker
sidewalk.
got a cubicle.
Yeah, stay to your sidewalk because you don't cross the other side of the street.
Hell nah, him across the street.
No, he don't. Yeah, Brian Loma. I like Brian Loma.
It's not Brian Loma.
Never mind. There you go. Look at Jesse in his hair.
Obviously, a pretty hotly contested debate as to what should happen with this 155-acre golf course. And let's be honest,
they freaking out over the whole thing. They use the whole thing.
To typify it as open space speaks to the fact that yes, there aren't buildings on it, but I guess nothing says who's listening to this debate should be in support of it. Affordable housing, accessible recreation, job opportunities. In a city who's listening to this debate should be for that as well. The last thing I would, just like to echo the sentiment of people who've spoken before. Denver's not lacking open space. You drive 30 minutes in any direction from the metropolitan area, you're going to hit as much open space as you need.
That's true.
And for that reason, among many others, I stand in support of the redevelopment effort, and I think that everyone should as well. Thank you.
So that dude look like a mad scientist.
Our next speaker on Zoom is Brandy Majors.
Yeah. No, I did it.
Commander Majors.
Jesse Paris.
See, I pop back in.
Yes, good evening, members of council, those watching at home, those in the council chambers. My name is Jesse LaShawn Paris, and I represent for Black Star Action Movement for Self-Defense, Positive Action Commitment for Social Change, as well as the Unity Party of Colorado, the East Denver Residents Council, Front Line Blacc News, and I will be the next mayor of Denver in 2023. And I reside at the Fusion Studios at 3737 Quebec Street in Northeast Park Hill in Councilman Herndon's district. Now, I have literally sat here for hours waiting to speak. Honestly, I signed up at 3:30, and I'm just now speaking at 10 p.m. But enough about me. Let's talk about what is on discussion tonight, which is the rezoning of the Park Hill Golf Course. and who it's going to benefit and who it's not going to benefit. Well, first of all, as I stated in the first hearing, this neighborhood, this area, was off limits to Black people. Up until like 1970, Black people couldn't live east of Colorado Boulevard. Then when we finally moved into what is now North and Northeast Park Hill, we still have to deal with discrimination. We still have to deal with economic blights. We have to still deal with being put last. Now, if this is going to benefit Black people, as your vice president said, what's good for Black people is good for everybody. So if this is going to benefit Black people, then I'm in full support of it. I just want an absolute guarantee that that is the case with this rezoning. That everything that we are being sold and told, this dream, this vision, that's an awesome vision. Don't get me wrong, it is a very great vision, especially for people such as myself, Black people that were born and raised in Northeast Denver and couldn't afford to live in Northeast Denver and just recently were able to move back to Northeast Denver, specifically Northeast Park Hill, which I grew up on 3601 and 3622 Hudson Street in the 90s, and seeing back then the changes now, this would definitely benefit our people. The opposition is they don't want to benefit our people. They don't want to do nothing specifically for us. None of these politicians, none of these people that's holding office want to do anything specifically for us. The only person that's going to do anything specifically for us is me. Harris for Denver Mayor, write me in if you need be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker signed up is T'Chaka King.
What you think about that, Ramel?
You's a bad motherfucker, man.
Just get rid of this business.
You's a bad motherfucker. You ain't no joke.
No, the kids talk about me, bitch. Can't just forget me. Oh, fuck that old lady. Bitch is a problem.
Commander Brandy Majors.
Yeah, Red Rangers is just tearing the fucking city up.
At the very end, I think.
The commander.
I had to tell him, I was like, I'm still here. That bitch were like ran over me. I think, and you see me in there just making scenes, making hand gestures and shit.
There you are.
There you go. I finally got that shit to work.
People walking their dogs. You know, our areas have been predominantly pushed out. We had a lot of discussion.
I was having a pretty
It
day.
wasn't always
there,
a golf course.
I look like shit right now, but I was sick.
The growing body of research shows that the old
people walking their dogs. You know, our areas have been.
We'll go to Brandy.
Finally, bitch. I was in there the whole time.
Thank you.
Commander Brandy
I heard a
Majors.
lot of things today. I first want to say that I'm just prayers are in full support of this.
Felt like I had to pick that ball.
We did a lot of reading, a lot of research. We did a lot of listening. We did a lot of talk. And the last presentation was pretty in depth and pretty thorough. You know, for a person who's lived in and out of Park Hill, in and out of Park Hill, the east side, Chris Park, anywhere, you know, probably in the vicinity, I've seen a lot of change. It wasn't always a golf course. But either way, we couldn't go on it. I could never go on it. My mate couldn't go on it. We couldn't do anything on it. You know, there's plenty of parks and stuff like that out here. There's plenty of parks that we can't even go to because overran with gentrification and white people walking their dogs. You know, our areas have been predominantly pushed out. We had a lot of discussion. We went to the community. What I like about this is that it provides Black tangibles that Black people wanted. Yeah, it's nice that the other people that came in and spoke, the non-Black people who came in and spoke, and you have your thoughts and your opinions of what it should be. But really, it's Black people that we talk to, Black people that we listen to. Black man that talked to us just recently about this. And that's what's important. That's what's important to us, anyway, over here at Team Paris. The other thing I wanted to say is that when this petition to protest was going around, where did you go, people? Did you only hit the nice part of Park Hill, or did you go into the other side? Because I'm pretty sure the other side would have wanted to know about this petition that was going around. You know, we noticed it in Newsbreak talking about this this super whatever you called it, and you can see it's backfiring. There's no amount. It's going to happen regardless. Now you have the lawyer for the easement in there. We had a letter of support for this through the Clayton people. So obviously they want it there. They want to go through with this, and now it's just in the hands of City Council, right? And the people. We're in support, and why not? Add Black tangibles. There's stuff there for Black people to get behind. Nobody pushes as much for the gentrification and development going on downtown or on East Colfax as much as you do give pushback for this, and that is wrong. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. And that concludes our speakers.
Hey, dude, you saw how much development going on downtown? Nobody said, please don't put this right here across from the city and county building. No.
So I'm going to fast forward to the vote.
The Front Line commander has spoken.
I'm going to fast forward to the vote.
Oh, yeah, because this was we spoke like 3 times during this. We did. We spoke like 3 times. But
I'm proud of y'all, man.
We're giving
y'all go hard in the paint.
Light work. Yeah, it was just like, we're waiting.
Putting in work.
Oh, yeah, the Metro District. I forgot about the Metro District.
I'll be right back real quick.
I gotta put the phone down and I gotta go pee. Look at Penfield tape.
Yeah.
Look at Norman Harris.
Yeah.
They're trying to flip the screen around because use the Zoom, dude. Use the Zoom at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Then I finally got it to work. I was like, thank God. What about rotating? Let's stretch. I got 20 minutes, baby. Time is this shit?
It's 4 o'clock our time.
Thank you.
Just
we'll go back online and skip one speaker, Jesse Paris.
You're always skipping me. It's either I get skipped or you get skipped.
Yeah, I spoke on this too.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, members of council, those watching at home. Can I be heard? Okay, my name is Jesse LaShawn Harris, and I represent the Black Star Action Movement for Self-Defense, Positive Action Committee for Social Change, as well as the Unity Party of Colorado, the East Denver Residents Council, Front Line Blacc News, and I will be the next mayor of Denver in 2023. And I reside in Northeast Park Hill at the Fusion Studios in Christopher Hernandez District. Ooh, that was a very hard follow-up from the past 2 speakers. But I'll say this. For the longest time that I lived in Northeast Park Hill, this has just been a golf course. A golf course that was off limits to people that look like me, specifically Black people, foundational Black Americans, the people that built this country, let alone the city and the states. So it was off limits to us to begin with. I would like to put that out there because a lot of people have just moved here and they don't know that basic history. But this golf course was off limits to Black people for a very long time. It wasn't until recently that it even started having any use besides being a dog park for gentrifying yuppies to walk their dogs every day in the neighborhood. became used as a place for the community to gather, a place where you can receive free food for the holidays. And I credit the Holliton group for that, and Norman Harris for allowing that clubhouse to actually be used for members of the community. Now, with all of that being said, the first step in development would be to create a way of financing it. So, if this land is going to be developed, this natural district passing has to occur. It's just a process, people. You might not like the developer, you might not like development, but this is the process. And with that being said, there's nothing that I'm going to say that's change the 13-member body of this council's minds on where they stand on this. All I can say is I voted yes on 302. I wanted Black people to have something that's been promised to us for so long. So a grocery store, places where we can start our own businesses, that's a start, and attainable, accessible housing is a need.
Yeah, I think Jesse skipped me.
I don't know. It was so much. That was from 5:30 till 1 a.m.
You should have just said, I'm Black, man.
There you go.
Yeah, see? I'm giving it to him. Let's try to fix
of the latter. I would like to also state.
And for the 5 metro districts, obviously we need to put in infrastructure.
Reread everything that has been provided online, including and not limited to
some infrastructure that needs to go on for this future development.
The Black Roundtable just the other day on Martin Luther King Day.
Some infrastructure that needs to go on for this future development.
Which would
I get nervous, y'all.
And there does need to be more state legislation to deal with the issues of the metropolitan districts. But given that this is the only tool we have, this is definitely the right path forward for this particular parcel of land. And I do encourage council to support this tonight. Thank you.
I get nervous. I think they're still there staring into my soul.
City council and everybody watching at home, people in the forum.
Ratchet.
I would like to say that initially I was probably very, very much against this. However, during the Black Roundtable, just the other day on Martin Luther King Day, I actually listened to Mr. Norman Harris give us an excellent speech. He did a presentation. It really changed my mind. I sat back and I reread everything that has been provided online, including and not limited to the actual agreements in regards to the easement. Look, I'm in support of this to happen for various reasons. I'm in support of the new housing ideas, which would give everybody a place to live. I'm in support of legacy building. I'm in support of creating jobs. I'm in support of a lot of benefits that come with this. There are some cons too. You know, there's pros and cons to everything, but I saw more benefit than I saw of the latter. I would like to also state that no amount of fear mongering that's going to happen in this forum today with not the last speaker, but previous speakers, is really going to change the outcome. Eventually, this will happen. And whether it happens today or in a month or two or next month, eventually this will happen. This is going to happen. The people have spoken and they have said exactly what they need. And this plan, if you read it, provides tangibles that the community is asking for. You may not like that it's development. You may not like a lot of things, you know, especially when it comes to gentrifying our neighborhoods. But when you look at the people that are involved and the people that are what they're saying and they propose the plan, they keep continuously talking to us about it, and keeping us in the loop, I feel like this is the best option, this is the best choices. And it's going to provide a lot of tangible things such as grocery. There's a lot of benefits to it. And I encourage everybody to reread. Keep reading. It's fundamental. I'm in support.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker on Zoom is Cheryl Spector.
Yeah, he's over there just like, what does Lady Che think? Lady Che thinks. If Lady Che reads. Lady Che reads too much, actually. It probably should be illegal how much reading I fucking do. Stay informed. I thought it was a good ass idea. And plus, man, you know, I'm all about the black fucking black first anything. Black everything. It's all black.
That's right.
Norman Harris Jr., the third. He gave a good presentation. I thought Jesse was zoning out and sleeping, but he was actually paying attention. I was all the way in the back. I was asking real loud questions like, "This gonna benefit black people?" You know, because I'm watching him explain his vision or the vision, and I'm looking outside because I'm right by a window, and I'm watching white people trot across the thing with their little motherfucking raggedy ass dogs. I watched somebody's dog take a whole dump on the fucking golf course and just left it there. Only 5 feet away was a trash can. And I'm ready to bang on the window light and start pointing at him like, pick that shit up, cuz. I'm ready to do that. But I didn't. Like the whole time he's expressing this vision. I don't already seen the maps. I got live. Initially, I was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to do this because the pictures, I'm all about pictures too. I read and I look at drawings and shit. I like the pictures have nothing but white faces on it. I was like, where's the fucking black people? And they accommodated us. So I was like, all right, now this started making sense. And when he started to talk about the whole presentation, really, people were listening. He started to talk about black tangibles. You know, when I brought up the question, I saw him do this little thing that most people do when they talk to me. They brought me people that, you know, look like yourself or look like us, or, you know, they give that BIPOC shit. Then I have to remind them, I'm black first because you speak to me just like anybody else. Because I grew up around nothing but black people, and I'm halfway. So come on now, stop playing. 58%. And I was like, come on now, let's just keep it 100. But I wanted to know because I wasn't allowed on the golf course. I don't give a fuck how light you think I am. I was not allowed on the golf course. I would have got arrested. Jesse wouldn't be allowed on the golf course. And we sure as fuck couldn't afford no membership to play there. And there's nobody playing golf there at all.
Right. Not at least since the 90s.
At least, man. And if there is, can I get
Honkies only.
Pretty much. And them crackers is walking around like freely in the back. Freely. And they're like, I don't want. There's a lot. I like the fact that they mentioned there's a lot of geese poo. You know what I mean? Going out back there.
Honkies only.
Yeah. They wouldn't let us in there. They barely let us in the clubhouse now.
Right.
Barely. And that's only because black events are going on.
You gotta be a very important peckerwood to be up in there.
Yeah.
For real. As I was like, they only went to the nice part of Park Hill with this protest petition. You know they ain't coming to the hood with that bullshit. The other side.
We're gonna get to the final vote. What they ended up deciding on whether they're gonna do it or not.
It was like 10 motherfucking hours, man. Me and Jesse, I was ready to throw shit at walking around, listening to music, doing other shit while they were waiting.
That's Councilman Flynn. Shout out to him. He shouted us out.
Oh, and Flynn did the worst shit that day. That's the day he did that shit, right? When he gave us the reality of what was really the true factors about what's going on in the park.
Who that was?
That's Kevin Flynn. He used to be a reporter for the Rocky Mountain News. Remember the Rocky Mountain News?
Yeah, they need to bring They need to bring that shit back. Real quick though, family, if you weren't paying attention to city council, Flynn gives us this breakdown, a little history, right? And it's kind of like in my opinion, some real fuck shit. And it also exposes the fact that Debbie Ortega has been a problem from the jump. Unbeknownst to her. Carry on, son. Carry on.
Any uses on the land that would prevent it from being a Regulation 18-hole golf course. I pulled up just a couple of samples of the language. 4A, permitted uses. Golf course land shall be occupied, used, operated, and maintained as a Regulation 18-hole daily fee public golf course. It allows related uses, but then according to B, paragraph B, no use of the golf course land shall be permitted that would be a detriment to the existence and operation of the golf course, except for the course.
Oh, okay, so let me give you a context. So there's a conservation easement on the land, city-owned conservation easement that they approved in '98, and it was a $2 million easement on the land. So what Flynn is reading is the actual language that was originally proposed when the easement was put in place. So these people keep talking about they want open space and save our open space. All you're saving is a golf course, because it has to remain a golf course if you keep the easement. It can't be anything else. It can't be a regional park. It can't be any other stuff that these people are talking about. They want to save the environment and save the trees and all that. It has to remain a golf course. And it hasn't been open in at least 20 years for as an actual golf course. So what these people were saying, the people that voted for 301, Amendment 301, which was to keep the conservation easement and keep it open space, and 302, which we voted on, which is to allow the community to decide what would be put there. These months, they are basically trying to justify this conservation easement by saying, well, we pay for this easement and we want a return on our investment, basically. And we want it to remain open space, even though it clearly says, and this is what Flynn's going over, it's not open space. It's a golf course, an 18-hole golf course.
That may be released from the easement, which were eventually, as part of the easement, by the way, released the land at Kaufman and Broad, built the overlook housing development. People who testified tonight on this, several of them actually live on the golf course, or land that used to be the golf course. And they now oppose other people living on the golf course. Paragraph C also requires that it be operated under the standards of the Regulation 18-hole golf course. And in paragraph 5, it says, here are the other things the owner may do, then Clayton, now West Side, they can do other recreational activities as long as they don't interfere with the golf course, because the last sentence says, provided the golf course shall always be maintained as a daily fee public golf course. So finally, the easement literally states in section 7 that if by chance condemnation, which has occurred, comes along, and enough land is taken from the golf course so they can no longer accommodate an 18-hole golf course, guess what happens? Then the owner, first Clayton and now West Side, would have the unilateral right in the easement. If you've read it, they would have the unilateral right if it's not enough land to continue doing a golf course. They have the right to terminate the easement all by themselves by delivering a letter to the city saying we can no longer operate a golf course, there's not enough land. That's why Councilman Ortega and I and Councilman Espinosa at the time, I think Councilman Cashman, that night we voted against the land acquisition ordinance in 2018 for the Platinum Park Hill project, precisely because we feared that the city could use it to acquire enough land that would make the golf course impossible. And then, lo and behold, the easement would go away. That's why we voted no on that. So the reason it's not being used as a golf course now isn't so that it can remove the easement. It's because the city on the west side agreed to a 3-year pause to do what we're doing to it. So if it goes to the vote of the people and it fails, West Side is required to restore the golf course. They cannot make it a regional park, and we cannot amend it to be possible, because that would require West Side's agreement. Now, the claims that the city could rework the season on the golf course and make the land just open space is false. The development required
Lady Tay, this is temporarily step away.
I gotta get on my machine. I can't breathe. So I'll be tapping in just from over there. Carry on.
For the landowner to give up any revenue possibility from the golf course, but it would trigger the need for a vote of the people because there would be a substantial amendment to the conservation easement. Remember, the conservation easement says if you can't use it as a golf course, the owner can terminate it all on their own. So to those who clearly understand the conservation easement and the choices available, there are only three potential outcomes here. One, it remains a golf course as required by the conservation easement. Two, the city pays Westside to purchase the entire property for the sole purpose of designating the entire 155 acres as a city park, which would not require a vote on this. I think that's the only exception to getting eliminated the easement without a vote would be if the city bought the whole thing and made it all apart. And three, what we're looking at tonight, 2/3 of the property is donated to the city by the owner to become a designated regional park, plus other public park and open spaces throughout, while the owner then acquires the right to develop the other 1/3 in accordance with the development agreement. The first outcome requires nothing else. We do nothing. Westside must restore the golf course and operate it as a privately owned fee-for-play golf course. The second outcome requires that the city negotiate with Westside to purchase the entire property. I'm spitballing here that it would be in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 million maybe, and then budget over the course of years to develop a regional park, a project that would conservatively cost many tens of millions of dollars. The third outcome requires that we refer this to the voters as through and unanticipated. And if they approve, the city gets 100 acres for free, plus $20 million from the owner in exchange for allowing development on the other 55 acres. $20 million plus 100 acres of that very valuable land seems very good return on a $2 million investment from 1997. We've heard that most people don't want land to remain a golf course, so the first option isn't what most people want. It's perplexing to me that the folks who got 301 passed to require a vote now are sending it to the voters because they don't appear to want it to be a golf course either. So there's only two ways. And to me, the best course of action here is to trust the voters, give it to the voters, and let them make the decision based on the plans and the development agreement and everything that we've approved here tonight. If the voters turn it down in April, I just may take up golf. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Leach. That was a really, wow, that's a great comment. Cheated hard for what they believed in. And what they came up with was a community benefits agreement that they negotiated. There are very little differences between those two groups in terms of being aligned in values, giving themselves a forum where they did their work. No, I was invited to neither of their meetings where they decided their strategies and decided who they were going to talk to and how they were going to talk to them, but they both passionately represented the things they believed in, and both impacted the outcomes that bring us here today. And I will just say, I don't mean to call you out, but in our front row here, I did witness that Helen and Tyler have hugged as we sat here tonight. Made friends. and I have to tell you, I don't have any enemies. My enemies, I make my friend. You can come out. I hope that Tyler and Helen can be a model, because I will just tell you that this community does belong to all of us. And there have been a lot of claims of ownership tonight. Been a lot of claims about who has lived where longer. And the truth is that there have been historical harms in this community, and those historical harms
claims. It's just the truth. That was our community after segregation, when we were finally allowed to move across Carl Boulevard. and not have to fear being lynched or fucking killed as a result of being black on the wrong side of the tracks. So yeah, them claims, that's the truth,
Have been racial exclusion. The reason there is a tightly knit African American community here is because there was exclusionary zoning that caused that community to be concentrated and to have not economic opportunities elsewhere. And there are also exclusions that have resulted in folks feeling that they have to passionately, protect open space and all of those things, right? So I think that this idea that we have to zero-sum game, right? I think if this community doesn't find a way to see the ways that they have all increased the things they care about, 20 acres of open space is real. You don't have zero carbon or all carbon here. It's zero habitat or all habitat. And so if there is not some way for Helen and Tyler to model for us how we come out of this. And I worry about the future of our city. I think that as we move forward, the accountability lies with all of us, right? It lies with the legal agreements. It lies with the monitoring of those agreements. And it lies with building towards the success, right, of these things. So whether you support or oppose this ballot measure, I think if we want to see this city succeed, then we have to have a place for the people who have fought to stay here, who fought to work here, who fought to have homes here, and who are fighting to breathe here and recreate here. We have to be invested in that, and I think that I hope that we will be. And I, don't have any illusions that this is a kumbaya moment, but I do feel the need to acknowledge the places where these outcomes have been expanded, right? The Sum of Us is a book that I hope everybody can read, because we have illustrated the message. The message is no one can have anything if I don't have everything I want. That's a good book for us to think about tonight. I wanted to wait to make these comments till the end because I do think that the referral of this ballot measure is only appropriate because of the votes we took along the way. And what I said early on when I was asked about how I felt about this entire process, including the city and its planning process. One of the first things I was asked as a council member is, would I oppose or would I try to stop the planning process because it was not appropriate? And I said, I believe the community had an opportunity to determine whether or not this development could deliver a set of commitments that could be put out there and be tested to see whether they were good enough. I believe they deserved that opportunity, and that it was my obligation to listen hardest to the voices that had been heard the least on issues of economic inequality in a neighborhood that has suffered generations of economic inequality and racial inequality. That is what I said. And we are here tonight, and I want to say, for those who fought for this community benefits agreement, and it is.
Like froze up. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened. I don't know what just happened.
Historic, and you didn't get a lot of time to celebrate it because it's so recently achieved, as they often are, on the eve of this night. I think that you proved that you needed this opportunity, right? And if we had not had the process that led up to today, so this is the opportunity. It's now in the light of day. It's now before the voters. Each of these things makes this vote to refer this to the voters
set of information to make their decision. And for that reason, I will be voting to refer this language to voters. Thank you. Thank you. Seeing no one else in queue, Madam Secretary, roll call on Council Bill 22-1635. Hines.
Aye.
Black. Aye. Tabaka. Clark.
Aye.
Flynn.
Aye.
Gilmore.
Aye.
Condon.
Aye.
Cashman. Couch. Ortega. Sandoval. Sawyer. Madam President. Aye. Madam Secretary, close the voting and announce the results. 2 nays, 11 ayes. 11 ayes. Council Bill 22-1635 has passed. Thank you all for sticking with us tonight. On February 21st, Council will hold a required public hearing on Council Bill 23-0011.
So that's how it went. So they voted in favor of it. So now it's going to go to the ballot April, and the Denver voters are going to decide what happens to the golf course. If it's going to remain a golf course or if they're going to allow for development. So we'll keep y'all updated as this election season draws on. And we're down to the last 2 topics of the night now. I don't know who's tuning in. If anybody's still tuning in. Oh, shout out to the viewers. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, so the last 2 topics are the Unhoused Neighbor News and the Unhoused Neighbor Sweeps. So, as we touched on earlier, Hancocc is talking about nobody has a solution to homelessness. And stop talking about how they have a solution to homelessness, because they don't. And where were these people 10 years ago? Where were these people 5 years ago? Where were these people 12 years ago on this issue? Nowhere to be found. But now all of a sudden, it's election season. Oh, no. Oh, I have the answer to end homelessness. No, you don't. No, you don't. And like I told the Gazette, until you address the societal issues that cause homelessness, such as poverty, such as racism, white supremacy, then it's just lip service. It's just fluff. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder. And these people have shown they don't give a damn about the people at all. But this is who y'all want to support and rally behind and put yard signs up for. That's your choice. But at the end of the day, what matters to the people? Who's going to do the best interest of the people? I'm the only candidate that's demonstrated that over the past decade. I am the man of the people. And that under my administration, Black people will come first. That is unprecedented in politics, period. Nobody has openly stated that they support Black people specifically and are going to do something specifically for Black people. But getting back to the Unhoused Neighbor News, so the sweeps continue. There was more sweeps this past week in below freezing weather. They don't care. Keep talking about these warming shelters, but they only open them up when they feel like it. And many of these places that people used to be able to shelter in are housing immigrants now, illegal immigrants. So they're prioritizing illegal immigrants, non-citizens, over actual citizens who just so happen to be unhoused. We can do better. That's what they told us. And we're still waiting on them to do better. So we're going to hold them to that promise. Since you got people running around talking about Denver needs to deliver on the promise or the promise of Denver and all this other madness. Okay, well, we're going to hold you to we can do better. And we will do better under a Paris administration. So as Lady Che alluded earlier, our friend, our family member, Carla, her camp was swept, or her area was swept unannounced. They're in violation of the Ray Lyle lawsuit versus the city and county of Denver, which made it where they have to give notice to encampments of, two, if they have like 5 tents, 4 or 5 tents, they have to give them 2 days notice that they're going to do a sweep. If there's 10 tents or more, which what they consider a large-scale encampment, they have to give notice of 7 days. But the city has not been doing this. SET has not been doing this. SET has been harassing and disturbing our unhoused neighbors, along with DPD and the yuppie neighbors that have moved into 5 Points and surrounding areas. So instead of housing people that actually need the house, and they're housing illegal immigrants that just arrived here yesterday off the bus from El Paso or wherever, and cities talking about they're stretched thin, they don't have all these resources, but yet and still you got Hancocc talking about, well, we need to shelter people. Well, how are you gonna shelter people if you don't have enough capacity to house everybody that needs to be housed? We have literally over 10,000 people unhoused in the city and county of Denver. That point in time count that's coming out next week, that's a flawed count to begin with, because all they do is they go out for a day or two and they basically take pictures and have people in the area around the triangle take surveys, and they tally all that up, and then they say, oh, we had this number of unhoused neighbor people or this number of homeless people in Denver, when they're not counting people that's living in their cars. They're not counting people that's living under the bridge. They're not counting people that's basically out of sight and out of mind, but still unhoused. They're not counting none of those people. They're not couch surfing, people living with family members. None of that is being counted or factored into the point in time count. So we'll keep y'all updated on what their studies show. I'm pretty sure that the number has increased again. The amount of people that were unhoused last year, they said it was 6,000. It's always double, triple what they say it is. So we're going to keep y'all updated, but I'm going to end the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to the anchorman, Ramel Understanding, who was a political prisoner in the Carl State Mental Hospital. Shout out to our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankoria, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which I'm the co-host of. And make sure you check us out in about 2 hours or an hour for a brand new episode of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, where we're going to dive more into the Memphis police killing of Tyree Nichols and the lies that they tell in Memphis, which is a predominantly black city, has a black police chief and all of that, and they still are dealing with police brutality. So we're going to touch on that, so make sure y'all call in. The number is 516-418-5996 and press 1, and you'll be live on the air. So join us in about an hour. It'll be about 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time that we're on the air on Blog Talk Radio. So call in, give us your questions, comments, and concerns, and where you stand on this issue. So thank y'all for tuning in to Season 2, Episode 43 of the Front Line Blacc News Part 2. Since we weren't able to get through everything last night, we had to do a Part 2 today. So we'll be back next Saturday at our regular scheduled time of 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And also check us out, like I said, in an hour for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which is regularly on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So Lady Che is also going to be doing the Revolutionary Agenda later on this evening. So make sure y'all tap into that and tune into that. So yeah, we're going to bid y'all farewell, peace, love, light, reparations, and Black empowerment. We will see you in an hour on Blog Talk Radio, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. I'm your host, Chan Kruma, next mayor of Denver 2023. Right in Jesse Harris for Denver mayor on your ballot when you get it in March. Peace.